Hey, welcome guys, man, to Hamza Talk Ball. I'm here with the guests, Daniele. I'm waiting for the rest. Can you hear me, guys? Daniele, let me try and bring him in again. My laptop's having. Guys, can you hear me, guys? Nadira, put it down a bit. Use the headphones. Huh? Yeah, welcome, Mark, man. Welcome, Mark. I'm trying to bring people here. Let me just text them.
Hamza, can you hear me?
Yeah, Daniele, how you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
Huh? I'm good, man. I'm doing very well, man. And I just thought, let me bring you guys in. I'm good, man. We've got a lot to talk about today. We've got to talk about the links that we're having. I don't know how many to mention about this links that we're being linked with. How many players we're being linked with, bro? It's crazy. The links about Wirtz today, links about Morgan Gibbs White, links about the Alcalucci that they're talking about, links about Wharton, we're hearing a bit. So many links. There's a keeper from Benfica. It's a lot of links with players, man. Like any players being linked. We've been linked with
Can you hear me, Hamza?
Cherokee. Yeah, welcome, Daniel.
Yeah, Turkey. I you know where I stand. I wasn't on the same page with you a couple months ago, and
Mm,
I've come 100% along. I've read the tea leaves and I see a little bit just of what they're doing.
mm.
They were cheap, even in this rebuild. Granted, they spent money in January.
Yep,
I don't know if that was Tiki and Viana,
yep,
but I also still think that they're some of the decisions now they're for key positions like in the midfield.
yep.
You cannot be cheap, but you also can't pick from a pool where the talent is more expensive and, in my opinion, overrated. I'm not saying that they're bad players, but for a midfield position, I stand on two ways. Either you pay and you get potential with a player that's young. That way, if it fails, you can still have some value and resell the player.
Fact.
Or you overpay and you get a proven commodity. When you start paying a premium for players that are in the middle, to me that's a problem. Morgan Gibbs White is 25 or 26, however the
Yep,
age he is. So if he doesn't work out, now you're stuck with his value and with the player, and it's going to be harder to resell you, i.e. Calvin Phillips, i.e. Mateus Nunes, I think came at 23. Calvin Phillips, Mateus Nunes, and Jack Grealish.
mm,
If they work out, great. You get a player that's in the prime.
mm.
If it doesn't work out, you've got a player that is in the middle age of their career and whose value is going to continue to drop, and you overpaid. So you're stuck. I would rather overpay for a young player, which this was the model that Real Madrid started to adopt.
Fact.
They started going after young,
Young players.
young profile. Even Barcelona,
Yep,
whenever there is a wonder kid that comes on the market,
yep,
they are not afraid to overpay because they know if it
yep.
doesn't work out, you can loan him, sell him,
Fact.
get something back. These
Yep,
middle of the age players that are in their prime years, if it doesn't work out, you're
yep,
stuck. You're
yep.
stuck, and you pay a double penalty for it.
Mm.
So that's where I have concerns. I like the Magnus pick, if that's true. I like the goalkeeper from Benfica is good, but I think it's gonna be hard to do a deal with Benfica. But he's as good as Diego Costa, and you'll
Is he as
probably
good as Chalavet?
yes, yes, bigger, just as good, nimble, the same profile, full-fledged international.
Yep,
One of the Serie A giants were after him, but
yep.
he's a good goalkeeper. Passes the eye test, passes the analytic test.
Mm.
Um, I don't mind overpaying for a young goalkeeper.
It's okay. It's a quality. It's a
Yes,
quality. You
yes.
can't keep wasting money on cheap little crap that you've been buying and you wasted money. You
Let's not
can't.
call them crap. Let's not call them crap.
No, no, no. Like I'm not talking about the quality. So less quality. Let's talk about less quality. I'm going to use that word. You can't keep going and buying Sergio Gomez for 8-9 million when you could have played 30 million for 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 Nuno Mendes, which they had a chance in 2000.
And
And he was involved in great assist him and Pedro Porro on the wing. We had an option to buy back Pedro Porro for 15 million. We refused. We then refused to go and buy Nuno Mendes, who was creating chances at the age of 18, generational player at Sporting. We refused. And
Hamza,
people say that he wasn't that good. He was good. He was good at Sporting Lisbon.
he was
People knew
good.
about it.
He was good. He was a little bit raw, but he was. You could see the talent. He was good. Now you saying that, it goes me back to when we made the Sergio Gomez signing, because
Yep.
he was at
Confusion.
Anderlecht, and then he was, I think, at Dortmund.
Yep.
And at Anderlecht with company, he was playing as a wing back.
As a wing back, yeah,
Now,
100%.
now put in a lot of crosses.
Mm.
I think he had over 10 assists.
Mm.
But my concern was because at that time we had Zinchenko. I want to say we had Mendy, but Mendy was dealing with the court issues. You pay 10 million
Yep.
for a young player, okay?
And you remember they had refused Cucurella, so they
Yes.
forgot to get.
No. They didn't refuse Cucurella. They refused to pay the price
Yeah.
for Cucurella.
Yep.
They refused to pay the price
Yep.
that Chelsea was meeting. My question at that time, after seeing Sergio Gomez and knowing that he wasn't going to get a proper chance, had some okay players
Mm.
at the left back position. I think
Yep.
it was Tom Galvez, Juan Larios, that they then no, they sold Juan Larios, I think, the year before,
Yep.
to Southampton, but they were molding the same sort of players.
Yeah.
And if all you were looking for was players that could play that wing back, put in the sort of balls that Pep likes to be put in, and then
Fact.
invert, you're telling me $10 million with Sergio Gomez when you could have tried it out for free in the academy? If it doesn't work out, you had Zinchenko
Mm.
and you had we had Cancelo still. Yeah, we had Cancelo.
Absolutely.
We had Cancelo. So that was a signing that didn't make sense at hindsight, it didn't make sense today. Back then, because of how it was sold, as fans, we didn't ask questions, but we should have been asking questions.
Fact.
Because if you justified bringing in that left back position, and this is what gets me mad, Hamza. So you're looking for wing backs now, or players that can invert. What did Jan Couto do at Girona?
Yeah, he did well.
Wing back, but they
Yeah,
were playing him as right wing back,
he did well.
left wing back, and he was inverting as well.
Fact.
You sold him. I get it. You sold him for the money,
Yeah,
but now you're looking for a similar sort of profile, and it's just
absolutely.
okay. So you maybe get Frimpong, you'll maybe get Cambiaso. It's just if it's to me, if it's a profile that Pep wants, they will find every justification to pay
I,
the
I think
price.
I think the recruitment have been bad,
The recruitment has been bad. The recruitment.
and I think we need to find out who's responsible for this recruitment because, to me, I give the recruitment out of 10 too, and I'm not being critical. I'm talking about the players we recruit after win the treble, and that's why. Do I trust them? Do I trust them? They have a responsibility to make sure they get the quality of player that we're losing out. Kyle Walker is one of the best right back that we've ever had. So I need a good right back. We've losing KDB. I need one of the top quality players in Europe that is able to match those numbers. If not, a little bit less. Not only that, if I'm losing Gundogan, I need the replacement of Gundogan that I had before. I will not accept this mediocrity and signing this, wasting money there and there. Morgan Gibbs White. Morgan Gibbs White. We've been quoted 100 million. Are we serious? Bro, Daniele, 100 million for Morgan Gibbs White today.
Listen, I'm not trying to
Oh,
chastise the
please.
player. I think he's a good player. I don't watch enough of their games, but when you start filling in your roster with no names that you're trying to justify on a
Mm.
commercial and sporting, and you might as well just start being a mediocre club,
Yep.
or because that's where you're going to start going in. Because now you're going to start selling. Okay, we can't sign this guy. well, we're gonna sell you on this player. You can't. You
Yeah,
can't drop certain aspects of your evaluation and standard because what do they say? If it's not a certain Pep profile of player, they're not
yeah,
gonna sign him. So why all of a sudden are you trying to do it now?
yeah.
Why are you going away? Because Pep's always look for a certain sort of midfielder, a certain sort of player, and they give the excuse that this player didn't feel the need for what Pep wanted, and they said, well, they weren't willing to pay or they weren't willing to make the deal.
Yeah.
Why now? Why are you willing to compromise now? And then you're trying to pay a premium on it? If I'm going to pay a premium, give me a player with pausa.
Fact.
Give me a player with flair. If not, I don't know, man. It to me it doesn't make sense. $100 million from a youth player for Southampton, and then you look up his stats, and he's never scored 10 goals. He's never had double-digit assists,
Oh, never
but
had.
he's 100. Okay, he's 100 million plus. Okay, fine. I can't find the full games because I don't watch Southampton like that. But just even the game highlights, I'm like, you're telling me he's better than some of the other players that I see overseas for
Yeah.
that don't cost $100 million. Players that you can even find in Scotland that don't cost $100 million. Like, no,
Fact.
something's wrong. The recruitment, the evaluation is wrong, and which is why I am thankful that they got Viana and that he's also not Spanish. Because Pep needs somebody to push him on some of these decisions that he doesn't want to make over the line, or on some of these plays that he like. Like at some point, our recruitment has to become less.
You know, we have to spot the next upcoming talent. We have to bring quality of players. I'm sorry. The players who are being brought to this football club are not good enough to the quality of Man City that we've been before. We need standards and quality. I'm sorry what you say. People can say Morgan Gibbs White has only scored 4 goals and 7 assists. Are you going to pay 100 million for that? What are we doing? I'm not going to pay even 50 million for that. No chance. No chance. Yeah, no chance. Who's
If you're gonna pay 100 million, go get Mastantuano.
fact? That's the guy I would get. I know people say he's young, but I know that boy is talented. I know that boy is talented. He. How tall is he?
Mastantuano, I
Oh,
think he's like between 5'7" or 5'10". He's not over 6 foot. I don't even think he's 5'11".
yeah.
But he's stocky. Like he's got
He's
a
stocky.
yeah. Physically, he's further along than where Echeverry was at the
Yeah.
same age.
And if you look Franco Mastuoni, let me check how tall he is. He's definitely 17. Let me see. He's 17. He's 5'10". He's 17. He's tall. He can play as a forward, attacking midfielder. I think his ball striking is brilliant. He's brilliant at free kicks. He can beat one-on-one players. He, I think I can see him like as a top talent that if you recruit, then at least I'm gonna get better. Echeverry is better than Mount. No, but I put money there. I listen. I'm gonna put my money there. Yeah, Echeverry is a top player, but overall, Maswani will be a better player than him because Maswani will be world class. Echeverry will be top player. Maswani's got something, guys. He was known at River Plate at the age of 13, 14. Those talks about him in the whole of Argentina at the age of 14. At the age of 14, people knew him around the world.
I would not say world class. World class for me is reserves for
Top
certain
talent.
players. Top,
But
top.
I guarantee I can see this boy. 22, 23. Bro, look how he beats players. Echeverry, yes, will be. But
Just off of right now, Hamza, because the reports in Argentina that he's gonna get called up for the next friendly national team.
how old is he?
Franco,
17.
17. He's gonna get called. He's gonna get
He's gonna be called out for the best team in the world.
has already been called up.
There you are.
Okay, Franco's gonna be called up. So at your worst, what you have right now, at your worst, if you
Yep.
signed both,
Yep. Sign both.
no,
100%.
no,
Danilo,
one's in control.
after what they've done this season, after what they've done the last 2 years, 100%. That's been signing for now and the
Peroni's
future.
Peroni's in
Has to be.
control. Peroni's in control, but Peroni doesn't seem like he wants to come back because he wants to play.
He wants
Even
to
though
coach.
even though he's not starting every game at Como, Fabregas is rotating him, but he's subbing in with enough time on the clock to still play. Now, on the Franco part, is like I was saying, if you even if you sign him now
Mm.
and you don't get a world class player, you still get a very good starter. At worst, with at 17, with 6 years before he enters his prime, to come into his own
Mm.
with Pep and the next coach. So his floor to me is much higher than some of the 24, 25 year olds that we're being linked with now that you're
Fact.
hoping that their ceilings are higher.
Fact.
Their ceiling,
I prefer to pay Masone than Morgan Gibbs White. I'm telling you now.
I do
I
too.
prefer because I
I
know
do.
I've got 30, that's a 35 million release clause I'm paying.
Yeah,
35 million pound release clause.
yeah.
Yeah. Low risk. And I
Yeah.
loan him out.
Low risk, high reward. 100 million,
100%.
hundred
He's
million,
gonna be worth more than 35 million. You're gonna make that money. Don't worry about it.
yeah,
It's
hundred
the
million
same
dollars Morgan Gibbs White. High
fact.
risk, high risk, hyper, and that's 100 million before the agents, because with the English tax,
Yep.
so you're looking at 100. Well, for him at least
For guy who scores 4 goals.
120, 120, yeah, 120 about, with all add-ons and everything else. So, which again, I think the British market is a little bit, it's inflated if you ask me. Some of the transfer fees and values in the UK for what you get in talent, I think it's grossly inflated. You can get a like for like. The game yesterday, I think it was the Conference League.
Mm,
It was Bode versus Lazio,
mm.
and you know how we were linked with Udogi. Is it Udogi? Yeah,
Udogi, Udogi.
Udogi.
Mhm. That's
So
another signing that we've been linked with. We've been linked with everyone, bro. It's hard to keep up with it.
I like to run models to see
Theo Hernandez and Udogi have
Fernandez
been linked.
Udogi. So I wanted to see, based off of Cambiaso's offensive stats that they like. But then
Mm,
I said, with some of the defense comparable to Kyle Walker in his prime years, and even Udogi, because Udogi does have good defensive stats. I said, find me a like or similar player, age, profile, output on offense, output on defense. Just list them. I just want to see
yeah,
who are those players.
yeah,
Plays right back for Bodie versus Lazio.
yeah,
He came up there. Who was he coached under? Arne
yeah.
Slot when he was at Feyenoord. Was he Feyenoord or was he PSV?
PSV. Was it?
PSV, sorry. Yeah, PSV, sorry. So he wasn't under Arne Slot. But
Yeah.
he came up there. Cambiaso was the preferred with the Pep system. The guy that came up number one was Omar Ahelal from Espanyol. And then the guy from Bode, which is the Swedish team, he came up number 3 and number 4 in the model that I did, just purely based off of defensive stats. I didn't watch the full game, just based off of defensive stats.
Mm,
That's where I'd like to see them make a little bit more high risk, high reward sort of sign. Juma Ba, that's a good signing to me. High risk,
yeah.
high reward. Kushinov, high risk, high reward.
Fact.
Victor Reyes, high risk, high reward. Marmouche, older, but you knew at worst at that price you were going to at least get a serviceable to a decent player.
Mm.
About some of the other
Welcome, Conway. Conway.
about
Welcome.
some of the other signings that were being linked.
Big up, guys. Big up, everyone.
What up, Conway?
Welcome, Conway, man. We'll talk about the signings that we've been linked with. First, about the Morgan Gibbs White. That is one of the most frustrating one that I've heard. That made my blood boil. And now we're hearing reports that they're gonna put him on 100 million.
Bro, I'm glad that we're getting priced out, bro.
Yeah. What do you
I
think when
think
you
I
heard
think
that?
them putting that price tag,
Mm,
um, it's going to make the board not be heavily fixated on getting Gibbs White, Hamza.
hmm.
So we can put our sights elsewhere. I rate Gibbs White as a player, but bro, if that's a player that we're going to be bringing in, and at the bare minimum, even if we don't pay 100 million for him, we're going to be playing 60 upwards, maybe 70 M's, because you have to include English tax.
Yeah.
And bro, if you are City fans, including the players that we're gonna sign this summer and the current crop of players that we have, is Gibbs White in our strongest 11?
Nope. Nope.
Exactly. So
Nope.
why would you spend all that money on a
Nope.
player that's gonna become a squad depth option?
Nope.
And we've already wasted 60 million on Nunes just to
Yep.
transform him into a right back.
Fact.
So yeah,
100%.
I'm glad we're getting priced out, bro.
That's the problem. That's bro. To me, do you see him as a starter for Man City? Do you see
Gibbs
him
White,
as
no chance.
there you are, and you're gonna pay 70 million for that?
He's a very good player, Hamza, and he's done very good at Forest. But if we're being truly honest with ourselves, this is the first season where people can actually say, you know what, Morgan Gibbs White, you
Yeah,
have been very, very good, and he's
he's
deserved to
25,
get an
bro.
England call up. But
I
for
prefer
you
to.
to become a starter at this football club, we need one thing, and that's consistency.
I prefer to get Morgan Rogers.
Or even with Morgan Rogers, this is his first season where he's kicked off with Aston Villa.
Yep.
Morgan Rogers, if he comes to the club right now, if we sign the likes of Wirtz or what's it called? If you don't get Wirtz, we get Reinders or someone like that. Oh, those players will be starting ahead of the Morgan Rogers or the Morgan Gibbs White
Fact. 100%.
because they have more consistency playing at a higher level compared to these two players.
Fact. Fact.
So
100%.
we have to be very careful. We have to be very careful this summer when we're looking at our targets.
So who do you think is making these decisions about signing players?
I think the decision now is mostly going to come from Hugo Viana, since I think he's going to be the head honcho in terms of negotiating deals, um, understanding the right players to look at, because he's going to be taking over from Cheeky. Cheeky's going to be helping. He has
Mm.
extended his stay with the club. He's not the official sporting director anymore, but he
Yeah.
will be helping Viana in terms of the summer
Why,
transfer
why is he
window.
staying extra? Is it because of the number of signings we're gonna be making?
But
Because
it's because what Hamza, if you look at our current predicament, this rebuild, we can't joke about with it. If you're letting a player, arguably our greatest ever player in Kevin De Bruyne, leave this summer and you're not offering him a contract extension, that alone, you need
Mm,
at least two people with high level of knowledge of football to be at the football club during the summer transfer window, and Hugo Viana and Cheeky, because you
yeah.
cannot replace Kevin De Bruyne easily. That's something that you can't do easily. You need people that actually understand the game of football to look
Mm.
at the right level of players, negotiate the right deals. Even if you can't get a Florian Wirtz, what are the two other players that you're going to sign to replace KDB? Because if you can't get me Wirtz, I need two players,
You have to have two top quality players.
two top quality players.
Top
So
quality.
who are those two top quality players that they will identify? That is where Hugo Viana and Chica come to the table and
Yeah.
they start identifying who those players are. They already have a long list, though, Hamza. They already have a very long list.
And they need. I think they can't make mistake, and because of the mistake that they did in the past, and we all agree now for the first time that everyone's on board that they made a huge mistake. Yeah. And I
100%.
think one thing is they're gonna have to overpay because people know we need players. But the other thing that I think,
Conway said something that's crazy.
mm,
They paid 50 million for a converted right back.
It's true, though. Am I lying? Am I lying?
No. It's just like when you actually said it that way, I was like, holy shit, people get fired for that. That the player is so bad, and the only way that you can salvage value is by playing them out of position. And even then, he would, if Kyle Walker didn't lose his pace, he would be a rotational right back. And you paid 50 mil. That was a bad, bad signing. I like Matheus Nunes as a player person, but production wise, like, man, that is a big miss.
it's a big
Big
miss.
miss.
Bro, it's a massive miss. Massive miss. Whether we like it or not, bro, it's a massive miss. Like what we've done. Like Conway today, we're hearing we need a right back. How many positions do you need? Let's go. Goalkeeper 100%.
Hamza, we need to sign two goalkeepers because Ortega and Edison are leaving. So two
Okay.
goalkeepers. Then
Uh-huh.
you're looking at getting a fullback. If it's a right back or a left back, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know.
That's
But we need a
three.
fullback. That's three.
Uh-huh.
And then, in my opinion, I feel like we still need an additional centre back because one of Ake and Stones have to leave this summer. One
That's
of them.
four.
So that's four. And then you're looking at a midfielder, someone that's going to replace one of Kovacic or Gundogan. So that's five.
5.
and then you're looking at someone that's going to be the replacement of KDB. If you can't get Wirtz, you need 2 players. So that will be, let's just call it 7.
What's up?
So you're looking at 7 players. Then potentially add another player to the attack that's potentially going to replace Grealish. That's 8. At the bare minimum, Hamza, this summer transfer window, we need 8 players.
Oh my God, we're gonna have to do what Nottingham. How many players did Nottingham Forest sign that year 2 years ago? That's
I think
8.
that I think it was the summer of 2022, if I'm not mistaken, or 2023. They brought in, I believe, 9,
11, yeah, 9 or 10 players.
9 or 11.
Yeah, 11 players, I think.
And
Oh my God.
what's crazy too, Conway. In that recruitment that Nottingham Forest did, they did 2 really good signings, but that went in 2 different profiles. What's his name? Moscovic, the defender that they got from Fiorentina.
Yeah, he's a top quality defender.
That guy was being linked with Juve, Inter, and even City right before he made the move. That was one. And then they got Murillo again. High potential, South America, high upside. That is, they hedged basically. We know one guy who's at worst he can defend in Serie A. If you can defend in Serie A, you can defend in the Premier League more times than not.
Yeah.
And then they took a high potential South American profile, and it worked out. Now guess what? They've got their center back pairing for the next 3 or 4 years. That's how you hedge. That's how you hedge. One was affordable. The other one you took a risk, high upside. You don't have to worry about a center back pairing or backup. You can actually take even more risk going into the market. And that's one of the criticism that through the mistakes that we've had, at least in the center back position, we've overpaid for Mangala. We've overpaid for what's his
Fernando?
name? Fernando was a midfielder.
Yeah.
I'm going back to Nastasic.
Defense. Nastasic.
Yeah, Nastasic.
Nastasic came from Germany, yeah?
Came from Germany, but
Schalke.
yeah. Nastasic, Laporte, and I'm not saying they're all bad players. I'm just saying the price for which we've had to go back into the market to find a serviceable center back to address the holes on defense is you for not really addressing it. And even then, the one instance where we were actually able to solve the hole, it was option 3 at Benfica for what did he come for? 50, 60 million?
Yeah, no, 65 million plus I think 65 million euros plus Otamendi.
You did a smart signing with a risk with Kushinov that costed what, 20? Was he 20?
Yep.
20?
Yep. 30 million euros. Yeah,
30 million. 30 million. At least you know now, take out the other vets that are there, you have a right-sided center back that can start for you today. You saved money. Now you can go back into the market and you can afford to make a Vitor Reis signing. Because if Kushinov didn't work out, now you're looking at Vitor Reis like, shit, you better work out or else it's going to be a 50 million. But because it worked out, now it looks smart. That's what we should have been doing.
That's a fact. Abdul, what do you think? This Morgan gives White 100 million now.
No thanks. I'm sorry, no thanks. Thanks. Get me to. I don't want him at all. 100 million. Yeah. Look, I don't care how much the club spend, but 100 million for Morgan Gibbs White, that's just a waste of money. Get Wirtz, get a number 8, get a box to box.
Yep.
And go from there, and get a winger, and then left back. Get Cambiaso, get a left back, and get another centre back. Seriously, and get a goalkeeper.
It's gonna be mad transfer. This summer is gonna be mad. Huh?
Well, the club know what we need to do. They just need to get on with it. There's no excuses. I'm sorry.
And they should be doing it from now. They should be.
Yeah, 100%. No, they should be. They should have been planning as soon as Viana came through the door. Which they already did. They did half the job in January, but the job's not done. The job's not done. They need to carry on and finish the job. I want it done this summer. It's not impossible. Yep. If Nottingham Forest can do it,
how do you do it? Like in terms of in the Club World Cup and all that. what's going on? Would they be signing him?
I would say started before the Club World Cup. That's part one, and then part two is after the Club World Cup, or after we get eliminated, or during or after the Club World Cup. And then there's no excuses. I can't lie. There's no excuses. No, give it. I'll give Viana the benefit of the doubt, but I can't lie. I expect us to challenge for the league and Champions League next season.
So today we've been linked with Theo Hernandez, Udogi, and Cambiaso. What do you think is happening? That's three names from the back line.
I'm happy with the Udogi, even though he's the hamstrings, but I understand.
Do you think Tottenham will sell us Udogi?
If we pay the right price, if we pay them a offer that they can't,
there's no chance we get any player from Tottenham. No chance.
Tottenham will never.
Daniel Levy will never sell to us.
Mm-mm.
I think we'll humble him. I will tell him you're a mid-table club. And
did you not see his comments? I think 2 years after we bought Kyle Walker from them, and even after the Harry Kane saga, that's a man you don't do business.
Well, they're falling from absolute mediocrity, and they'll be hoping to go back to mediocrity at best, to be quite honest. So
no, but that's just us talking about Spurs as a club, but as a business, as an institution.
Beggars can't be choosers. If we talk to the player side, the player will push for the move. He ain't no Harry Kane. He's not a loser. Harry Kane's a loser. So yeah.
I think that, to me, I think this is the most important thing. Every time I'm reading these new links, whatever it is, I'm just thinking. Wirtz has come out today saying that. What do you think about the news?
He wants to stay in Germany, but it's not up to him. If
offer him there.
If we offer the money to buy Leverkusen, okay, but he's gonna have to stay for another season. He's gonna have to sign that new contract, or he'll stay, or he'll have to move, or he'll get forced out. And Bayer Leverkusen don't want to sell to. At least they have a bit of ambition, and they don't want to be the lapdogs of Bayern Munich. They don't want to sell to Bayern Munich. So I think we're the most likely candidate this summer, because they won't sell whatever price. They won't sell to Bayern Munich this summer. I'm sure of that. I may be wrong, but I'll hold my hands up until that happens. But no, I can't lie. We need 2 to 3 midfielders, minimum two.
If we don't get Wirtz, they have to bring 2 quality players.
Yeah, two. I would say get Baina and Cherki.
Exactly.
Baina and Cherki. I can't. If you can't get Wirtz, you're gonna have to get.
And then next year you go and get Wirtz or something.
No, I think if we don't get Wirtz, then he's gone. He's destined for Bayern. If we don't get Wirtz this summer, he's destined for Bayern. So yeah.
I think to me.
But in terms of goalkeeper, give me Diogo Costa, Chevalier, or Diogo Costa or Chevalier. I don't want anyone else to be quiet. Or Diego Goria from Juventus. Or Verbruggen. One of them four. If not,
what's his name?
Verbruggen, De Gregorier, the Juventus goalkeeper. I think he's sweet. Is he
sweet? Yeah.
There's also that black Japanese goalkeeper. I forgot his name.
Nah, I don't want
him. Suzuki.
Yeah, he's wanted by United. Let him have him. They take him. I don't want him.
United are
one of them four. And I would love to get Huijsen. But I think he's destined for Liverpool this summer. We could get Kirkes, but he's destined for Liverpool as well this summer. So it's all up.
We can't keep losing players like Huijsen to Liverpool. Do you think? I think he's going to Madrid.
I would love him to go to Madrid instead of Liverpool.
Boy's going to Madrid. Did you hear what his father said?
He's going. I hope he goes.
He's definitely going.
But Hamza, the thing with the centre back, I don't think the club have in terms of priorities.
Yeah, priorities.
I don't think they have the centre back.
So why it should be a priority, because clearly
100%. And I said this earlier. I think we should be signing a centre back. And a lot of people, when I mentioned this in Spaces, they started mentioning the defenders that we have within the squad. But if you look at Akanji, Ake, and Stone, those are 3 defenders this season that have suffered.
That are severely injury prone. Like Akanji's
Exactly.
found himself. Akanji has now cemented himself as injury prone. Stones and Ake have been cemented as injury prone for a very long time. So I can't lie. If I lived in Manchester, I would be waiting outside every single day and wanting to speak to the board. I would wait. I have time to waste, so I would be waiting outside and be pestering Pep and the board and telling them sign some players because you clearly have messed up this summer. And from next summer onwards, I can't lie, Pep has to coach the players. He has no transfer control. I'm sorry. Like, that's the only thing that he's lost. He's lost trust in me. I don't want him out, but in terms of that, I'm taking transfer control away from him. Give me and I think credit where credit is due to United. The way they've dictated in terms of play, like they dictate who comes in. I think that going forward, every club should be doing that. Every club should be doing that because managers, coaches, and they have too much control.
I don't think we should be looking at United as an example.
But in that aspect, I think that's going forward. The board should, if it's a competent board, they should dictate who comes in. They get the manager says the player profile, but he doesn't dictate what the squad size is and what players he wants. He can only dictate on the player profile. That's it, in my opinion.
Because, I mean, Cheeky does go above Pep in terms of sometimes he will bring up like Jeremy Doku. That was a Cheeky.
So I don't. Fair enough, but I don't know what happened this summer. I don't know what happened this summer because you never know. We could
this summer a lot of the blame is on Pep because there was question marks regarding his own contract.
If we don't make Champions League football and we don't win the FA Cup, we could be set back a year or two. Because let's be honest, we ain't a Manchester United. We're not like our name holds a lot of weight because But I hope that's true. It does hold a lot of weight, but I don't know. I'm worried about this summer and I'm fearing the worst when it comes to ending this season because Pep is not making subs and he's not playing the correct profiles. So I don't know.
PSG recruited. It makes me angry when we lost Joao Neves, when Daniele was saying on a space. Remember last
Nuno Mendes, Hamza Nuno Mendes.
Not only Nuno Mendes, Enzo Fernandez, 15 million. Pep said, no, there's not enough space in the squad.
Yeah. I can't hear.
No space in the squad, yeah.
And the Joao Neves from Benfica last season was saying
I told you, Hamza.
And he walked in straight. He went straight to the thing.
Straight.
Welcome to left. And the thing is, to me, let me give you another option I was thinking, but I could be wrong. If you can't get Wirtz, would you change your style of play and go 4-4-2 and sign another striker?
No, we're not designed to.
If we're going 4-4-2, Marmoush plays anyway, so we don't need another striker.
I was gonna.
No, but we're probably gonna need another striker if
top striker. We're talking about Ektika and all that stuff, and
or go for Gyökeres.
No. But Hamza, if Haaland's not fit or you can't play in a particular game, Marmoush.
Because if Haaland doesn't look fit, our goals come from Marmoush. If Marmoush gets injured, we're finished.
Yeah, we're 100%.
Yeah, no, but Hamza, all the major teams in Europe, their squad have 2 strikers.
Yeah, we don't. But Marmoush is not.
What happened to the days that when we had 4 strikers? What happened
but that was when PSR wasn't a thing.
No,
I can't lie. We win this case. I can't lie. PSR does no longer exist. We don't have to dictate. We don't have to listen to it anymore.
But let me say something. The next 7 games, we depend on Marmoush to score goals because our goals are coming from anywhere else.
100%. Because if I'm giving Foden the leeway, but if he's not, it's literally a waste of space in the squad. If he's not mentally ready to play any games or any minutes, just take a holiday.
Yeah, Pep just came out and said he's a doubt for tomorrow's game. So
I'm not saying good, but
who's the doubt for?
Foden is a doubt for tomorrow's game.
Yeah.
Just say he's out for the season. A lot of the fans will give him the benefit of the doubt, but next season he has to hit the ground running. I can't lie. Next season he's damned if he does it. It's do or die next summer. Next season for him. I can't lie.
I think a lot of people have seen like we're gonna be losing a lot of our quality players. And Limbring safe. And I think that's what upsets us, like losing the best right back that we've ever had, losing the best player we've ever had.
I'm gonna say something uncomfortable.
Mm.
Our best players over the last 20 years have not been English.
Mm.
So I don't know all of this notion now we want to turn the team English. You need
I
to
think
go
that
It's
out
only
and
because of the
get
homegrown quota, and that's getting.
homegrown.
That's the only reason, and I genuinely believe there were rumors a year or 2 years ago that the homegrown quota is getting scrapped. And let's be honest, the only reason the homegrown quota in other leagues exists because they have ballers. The homegrown players from England aren't ballers. I can't lie. They have no tech. They have no technical ability. So, and the English national team, it's nothing special to watch. It's boring to watch as well. Whatever manager they bring in, even with two Caliban at the wheel, are they really going to win anything major? I doubt it. So yeah, it's going to be another wasted tournament as always. So yeah,
I think the homegrown thing has killed us. And
100%.
if this homegrown rotor was not in, yeah, a lot of players would have moved out, like Stones, Grealish, straight.
Of course.
But
No, but
Hamza,
to
it's
be fair,
always been like that, though.
Safe, no, because there's no quality in homegrown.
Listen, Hamza, once again, I will say this. Yeah, it's about us getting the right homegrown players. Were we complaining about this when Stones was young, when Sterling was there? And were we complaining about homegrown? And were we looking at quotas and that? We were not doing any of this,
yeah,
bro.
but the quality is diminished in terms of
Yeah, but
English
listen, the
players.
guys, the quota has always been there. My point is, it's not like the quotas just
The
suddenly
quality
changed
of
this season.
homegrown is bad now.
Hamza, listen, all I'm going to say is we have to find the right quality in the homegrown players as well. Yeah.
I don't even rate Morgan Gibbs White. He's not a baller.
It's not. I don't rate.
Listen, okay, guys. Okay, firstly, can we just actually discuss this here, like on a rational level, please?
Yeah, go
No
ahead,
one
go
have a
ahead.
meltdown. No one have a
Yeah, no, I'm not
meltdown.
having a
Listen,
meltdown. My
but
meltdowns are gone.
no. I'm just saying, like, no one needs to have a meltdown when we talk about homegrown players. There's some of them, yeah. Gibbs White in isolation. If you don't compare him to like a Florian Wirtz, if you don't compare him to like I don't know, like a Lamine Yamal or whatever,
Hmm.
in isolation, he's not a bad player. He's not really a bad player. I think you could talk about the fact that fair enough, can we go for higher quality in Wirtz? I think everyone over here will say Wirtz is the top priority or number one priority. I don't think anyone can
I'd rather have
disagree with that.
Mateus Cunha, to be quite honest.
No, listen. Once again, I'm not disagreeing with the
Yeah.
other options, but I'm not saying.
It's better
But
than
the only
nothing.
point
Yeah,
I'm
I
trying to
agree.
make is,
Better than
yeah,
nothing. Better than nothing. It's better than
no,
what we
it's
had.
not, bro. It's not about better than nothing. I think he's actually a good player. You know, I think Morgan Gibbs White is a baller, bro. The only problem is, firstly, for me, and this is the biggest problem here, the price tag, bro.
Exactly.
If Morgan Gibbs White is available for like 40, 50 million, no problem. But when you're talking about Grealish price range, that's where I'm like, nah, no
Nah,
chance.
thanks. Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Safe. I hear you. But we're doing the same thing we did with Grealish, and now we're going to have to take an overview from the top. Morgan Gibbs White has never scored more than 12 goals in his career per season. I need more
What?
than 12
Once again,
goals.
I agree with you. Listen, all I'm saying is if we talk about profiles and what they're listen, once again, people also forget that, like one of the other points that I was seeing people making in favor of Morgan Gibbs White was, oh, you know what? We need legs in the middle, and he runs up and down the pitch and he contributes to all of this. Yeah, but then I was like, wait a minute. Fair enough, you say that, but then Forest are a team that usually sit back and counter. We don't do that. So he's going to be a player who's going to have the ball most of the time, and in that time he has to create chances out of nothing, practically, like
You,
against low blocks or whatever. Fair enough, his work rate will be helpful when off the ball he has to run back, he has to put in tackles, he has to recover the ball. But how many times is he going to be doing that as opposed to just being in a system, receiving the ball, and then having to do something create in terms of like creativity? And I don't really see how he helps us in that case. So I agree with you. I'm just saying it's not a bad option when we look at homegrown. For me, if we're really having to add homegrown players and really do all of this, yeah. For me, listen, if we're really going for that ilk of a player, yeah, I'd rather you spend 50 mil or someone like Ezra. He does not affect
Yeah,
the squad.
yeah.
Eze,
He does
yeah,
not affect
he's
the
good.
squad. Ezra
He's
is
good.
far more creative than Morgan gives White. I've even seen him create against low blocks.
Yep.
He's a good shooter of the ball, good passer of the ball, and his work on and off the ball is very good. So he ticks, for me, except the age factor, which is a bit tricky, he ticks all of the other criteria, yeah? If you're really being like, or dying on this whole homegrown hill per se. Um, but
How
then
old is Eze? How old is Eze?
he's 27, Hamza.
He's going to be 28 soon, you know.
No,
Seven.
no, no. He's just turned 27, so
I
he'll
No,
don't,
be 28.
June. He turns 27 in June.
I don't.
Yeah,
How much would you pay for him?
Hamza 50 mil. If he's available for 50 mil, I'll take it.
Yeah, max 60. I would give max, absolutely max.
But let me ask you guys a question here, and Hamza, this is for you as well.
Hmm.
You know, we keep talking about Florian Wirtz and I don't know, Simmons and Gibbs White, and I don't know. We're talking about loads of number 10s, yeah? What if we did not do that? Why don't we go and build a midfield like PSG have, in the sense like we
That's
already
what I
have
said.
a, listen, one sec.
That's what
We
I said.
already have, Hamza, one sec. We already have a world class midfielder in Rodri. Yeah. We have Nico Gonzalez as a squad player. Why don't you go and add two world class or top tier number eights?
Give me name. Xavi Simmons or
No, no,
You
not listen. I'm not saying number tens. Xavi Simmons is a number 10 who can play as a number eight.
tell me
I'm
number eight.
talking about you.
Baina, Alex
No,
Baina.
no, not even. Listen, once again, Bayern is another number 10. I'm talking out and out midfielders. You go and get a Baleba, yeah, and then you go and get a goal scoring midfielder. You either add someone like who am I saying? Bro, someone of the quality of a Barella, for example, yeah. Nicolo Barella is the type of player that you can add in the
Mm-hmm.
midfield, for example. And then you have two quality eights. They can run up and down the pitch the entire game. They can
Mm.
put in tackles. They can do the dirty work. They can also chip in with goals. That's what we need, right? So why is everyone so
100%.
obsessed with the number 10s?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like we have to look at this in a way as well. And Hamza, you know what? Another reason I'm thinking that, because even though the links are,
I said that one, and then you add another striker.
bro, Hamza, that's my point. Because listen, for me, yeah, as much as I love Florian Wirtz, as much as I love Xavi Simmons and all of these other number 10s, the number 10s are not really helping our system or creativity or anything right now, because they do not guarantee anything. Firstly, and to be very honest with you guys, yeah, I don't think
Mm.
they're ceiling raisers. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think they can come in and just create chances on chances for the team. There are players who will come in, they'll play a certain way, fit in the system, fair enough, but then they'll have good and bad games, and we'll be like, wow, you know what? We need to give them time, and we'll be here again. Because listen, Wirtz, amazing player, but do you guys really think he's just gonna come in and boom, 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 like KDB? He'll just create like,
None.
I don't
Don't
know,
think so.
10, 15 chances a game? No
No.
chance.
We need another
Absolutely no
winger as
chance.
well. We need another winger as well.
Yeah.
Like
I,
Doku and Savio on
So,
showing in
so
terms
guys,
of
why? So this is
goals.
why, yeah, and also I'm basing it off the links here. Like we've been linked to Reinders. Reinders' quality. I'm not saying he's like a world class whatever
No,
player,
he's
yeah.
decent. He's decent. I'll
But
take him.
he's a very good player. He's a box to box player. He can chip in with goals. He can go up and down the pitch constantly. He does not
Yeah.
get tired. Yeah, and his technical quality is good enough to hang in a top team.
Kvaratskhelia was
That's
available, man, as a winger.
sorry.
Kvaratskhelia was available in a winger,
Yeah,
and we didn't go
In
for
our
him.
price range.
yeah.
In
But
our
Hamza,
price range as
listen,
well.
we were never going for any left wingers because of our squad situation, innit?
It was bad, man. We never even went for Kvaratskhelia. That's why I can't trust recruitment. I don't know why I don't trust him.
No. The problem is everything seems to go through. Apparently, Pep says the biggest say. I can't lie. We've been at this point. It feels like self sabotage from Pep. I can't lie. I don't know what he's done this season.
I
We
would
should have.
go for a striker. Another
Let
option
me
would be
ask you a question then.
I'll
You
get
know, you
let's
bring
just
up an
say
interesting point,
Gomez,
Hamza. Let me
Ektike,
let me
Cunha,
No, no. Let
something
me.
like that. And I just
No,
play.
no, no. Let me ask you a name
Cunha's a
then.
number
Yeah.
10. He's not a striker. He's not good enough to
One
play
sec. One
striker.
sec. So forget Cunha.
Mm.
Yeah. Cunha is a
Number
one
10.
of those number 10s slow. He's like a 9. He's
False
not
nine.
even like
False
a
nine.
9. Falls 9 kind
Yeah.
of player. Yeah.
Mm.
Hamza, let me ask you a question. In the summer, you're in the market for a backup striker. Would you? And once again, guys, yeah, would you trigger the buyback for Liam Delap as a backup
Yeah,
striker?
I said it before. I said it before.
Yes.
Nah,
Yes.
it's
30
a
Yes.
it's a
million.
it's a waste of
30
money
million.
though. But
30 million. Don't say it's a
Why'd you
waste of
guys?
money.
Why'd you
30
guys think?
30
million
Sorry,
million
Brazil.
sorry,
for a
I would
good
say
sorry.
no.
striker.
I
because
would
we
do it.
already have Holland and Marmoush who can already play
Dylan,
By
as
the
a
way,
striker.
it's
the only
homegrown.
reason I'm saying that is Pep does not consider Marmusha number 9.
Yeah, but think about it. Does Delap wanna be a backup striker to third option though?
Okay, put it this way, yeah. If we tell him we have to, mind you guys, you have to remember, yeah. On average, and this is on average, yeah, the number of games are increasing per year. We're
Yep.
also going into the Club World Cup, which is another, I don't know how many games that is, yeah. That's another at least 7, 8 games. So on average, we're having to play roughly 70 games per season as a big club who's competing in all fronts and who's competing in multiple sort of trophies, yeah. That's the Carabao, that's the FA Cup, that's the League, Champs, and the Club World Cup now. So that's every single year. So, in my opinion, I think you honestly can convince someone like a Delap to come in, be a backup striker. You tell him you'll get a role in the league and you'll get plenty of game time because, let's be honest, it also eases the burden and the workload of someone like a Haaland. Why would you run Haaland into the ground for 50 games when you have Delap in your team? You could give him an easy, let's say, I don't know, 15, 20 games in the league. Sorry, 15,
Yep.
10, 15 games in the league. Yeah. You can give him all of the cup games in the group stages. You can play him in
Mm.
the Club World Cup. Why not?
And,
I
and
think
and
that's a
he's homegrown.
fantastic. And
Mm,
He's
and by the
homegrown.
way, guys, the only reason I'm saying this here is fair enough. You could question as to why would Delap agree to come back, but Delap agreed to the buyback. He
Yeah.
said if there's an opportunity for City to buy me back, they can have me back. He agreed to it. So
Yep.
technically, we are in the
And
best.
he's homegrown. He's homegrown.
And Hamza, he's homegrown, so he's not even affecting the quota. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why not? Why not see it as a market opportunity? Bring him back. He
Better
already
than
knows
that
the club. I
better than
mean,
that
I think the club will
Gibbs
definitely
White.
explore it. I'm definitely sure.
And
and
better
then
than that Morgan Gibbs White.
And then also, instead of looking at names like Morgan Gibbs White, then
Yep.
move to the number 8, yeah, slash holding or whatever, you bring in Adam Wharton.
Yeah.
Forget number 10s. Bring in Adam Wharton, bring in someone like a Delap, yeah.
Aleba.
And then you go for the big marquee signing in Florian Wirtz. You can get a Florian Wirtz, that's your one major like
Mm.
international signing that's done.
Yeah.
The rest don't have to be homegrown, Hamza. In my honest opinion, you can get a
Yeah.
Delap, you can get a Wharton, you can get like what's his name, Livramento, for example. Even though that will be tough, yeah. But there's options within the league, bro. I think
Mm.
the fullbacks, there's definitely options.
Mm. I think that's quite clever. I think that's quite clever. I said Liam Delap comes homegrown, 30 million. You can't go wrong with that. You then go
Yeah.
for
Hamza,
midfield.
it'll be cheaper than that because technically Ipswich have paid us 15 mil and they
Mm.
were going to pay us another 5 million if they stayed up in the Prem. So that's roughly 20 mil. So because they paid us 15 mil, if we activate the buyback clause, because obviously they've not made the whole payment to us here, we'd only need to give
15 mil.
Ipswich 15 mil. That's it. That is it.
It's a no-brainer. It's that's no-brainer.
So
You've
if
raised
you're looking for a backup number 9,
that.
for me it's like it's right there. It's literally right there.
100%. Everyone else is being charged 60 million. You pay 15 million. Bro, and you can send him next year if you want, 2 years time if you want.
That's my point, bro. So you can literally eat. Let's say you keep him for another year in the squad. You tell him that you'll get plenty of game opportunities and whatnot.
Mm.
If he's not happy by the end of the season, you sell him on for a profit.
Yeah, you send him for 50,
It's
60 million.
literally a risk-free signing, in my opinion. I think you take
He's a
advantage
top
of it.
player. He's a top player. He's going to get better. He's
And
physically.
also,
Mm.
Wharton, once again, in my opinion, I think. Listen, he does lack a lot of things, yeah, in my opinion. I don't think he's like a complete midfielder or whatever, but that's normal. He's still very young, coming through a big team. He's got the Premier League experience now. You get a player like that and you let him develop, be like an understudy. He'll learn a lot from playing along the likes of Gundogan, Rodri. You bring him in. And once again, not affecting the quota.
Mm.
So I think these two have to be like top signings. Wirtz, fair enough, that's your number 10 marquee.
Mm.
Fullbacks is Hamza where it gets tricky. What do
Yeah.
you guys think on fullbacks? Like, who's your
Cambiaso.
preference?
Cambiaso. I like him.
Cam-
Decent.
Yeah, Cambiaso definitely.
Cambiaso is someone here who've
Yeah,
been
but okay, guys, but Cambiaso's the left back, though, isn't it? Like, he can play
Yeah,
right back,
No,
but
left
he's a
back.
he
he's
can
a
play
left back,
left
right
back,
back. Yeah,
right
he's
back,
very
in the
yeah.
midfield.
can play both sides.
Yeah.
Okay, but then who would you get as a right back? Because remember, we need two fullbacks, not one.
Mm, that Romanian right back. I think.
Vallecano.
Yeah. I would get him. He looked decent in the Euros.
Apparently, when wasn't there links to him?
Yeah, but not sure if those are.
I
He's
take
worth 20 million.
Yeah.
Say
him.
something again, Hamza.
Mm.
Isn't it a red flag that our academy can't produce anything outside of wingers?
Yep.
Eights,
It's a big
ten,
red flag. Big red flag.
no fullbacks.
Yeah,
There's
Wait,
no.
one sec, one sec. What's my man's position? Amfuni.
Who? He's a left back, left-sided center back.
centre back.
Is he a left back or a centre back?
Centre
Well,
back.
he's like Guardiola. He's a left-sided center back that they try and play as a left back.
Hmm. Good profile there within the academy.
Well,
Yeah, but he's still time to
Max
develop.
Delaney, centre back.
Max Alain's gone.
Yeah, he's probably gone. But yeah, right back is a big thing for me, guys, because
Yeah.
listen, it's all well and good when you have a squad player in Cambiaso, but once again, it's not his natural position to play right back. He could play in there, inverts, whatever the case is, cutting in, yeah. Totally fine. I totally get that. But you have to remember, listen, I do not miss Kyle Walker, but he held the position down for 7 years. He made the
That's so.
position his own. He was one of the first names on the team sheet when the team was put out.
I knew you were
Yeah.
gonna say that.
In his prime, it was good. Yeah.
Did you know what I mean? So you have to realize at the end of the day, we're replacing a reliable senior right back
Mm.
week in, week out. It was not about the fact that he was technically the second coming of Danny Alves. He was just capable enough to
The
hang with
the
the team. Do you know what I mean?
the
We're
quality
losing
and
that. We need to make sure we get someone else in.
the quality and right back shit and like all around the world has really diminished. So I think it's a tough.
Yeah, bro, but you still have to go and get someone in it. I guess the quality is not that great, but you still have to go and get someone.
Yeah. That's up to the club to be quite honest, because we don't know any good right
Like, listen,
backs.
let's be honest. We all know, obviously, getting someone like Livramento is now an impossible because long contract, still at Newcastle. They have big ambitions, blah blah blah. All of this, yeah. That's like an ideal or dream signing. Fair enough. What's the other options you look around the league and you can get in terms of a right back,
I
or
don't think.
even in Europe or somewhere else, bro? Because we need that, bro.
I don't know what the links are. It's apart from Cambiaso, who's a left back, as
Bro,
you
that for
said.
me is a big concern, like and also, mind you, yeah, we also can't keep doing this whole like, oh, play center backs as a right back and it'll just work out. It never does. It's never long
Club
term,
might
do you know
have
what I
to
mean?
change the system. It
So
depends if he's going to stick to the same system. It depends. Or Viana will instruct
Wan-Bissaka,
him to think.
Who?
No, Wan-Bissaka, no, that's crazy. No, we,
Wan-Bissaka.
we
He's
we
homegrown.
had the we had the ch- we had
Yeah,
the chance to
technically he's homegrown.
we
Do you
had
know
the
who would
chance
have
to
been
get
good if he kept up his form, yeah? If he kept up his form, who would have been good?
who?
Keep forgetting his name, man. Yeah, Kyle Walker Peters, the Southampton.
No.
If he was still good enough, yeah, if he kept up his form, he would have been a decent little signing.
Yeah.
But he fell off, so it's unfortunate.
We're kind of linked with Frimpong, but he's not really a right back. Is he?
He's a right
Listen.
wing back. He's a right wing back slash left
I'll
wing
Yeah,
be
back.
honest with you guys. As much as we keep doing this, like, oh, he's not really a right back or blah blah blah. He is still predominantly a right back. He's just that good at going forward. They just use him differently in it. Like
yeah.
he's still in
He's
historically in the
What about
academy when he
Hickey?
was at CE. He's played in a back four. Even at Celtic, he played in a back four. So he's played in a back four. He's been predominantly a right back for most of his career. I don't think
What
one or
about
two
Hickey?
seasons changes that. Aaron
Hickey.
Hickey.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we were linked to him. I'm pretty sure we also looked at him as one of the candidates in one of
Does he
the.
fall under the home quota? Because did he? Wasn't he at Serie A before he came over?
I'm trying to look now. One sec.
From overseas. He's young.
Yeah, he's still very young. I only remember him because we were linked to him. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, Brentford are having the season they're having. Gonna. Oh yeah, so he's recovering from injury more or less. So he's not really featured much for Brentford because he's been recovering from an injury. There you go.
You guys hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we can
yeah,
hear you.
yeah.
Alright. Have you guys heard Jumaba is injured?
What injury does he have?
Knock on the head. He played like today.
By head injury, that's fine.
Yeah,
No,
head.
I thought like ACL or something. But
Nah,
yeah,
nah.
Hamza.
He has a head injury. Hamza.
head injury
Bro,
he'll recover from it.
Man said ACL, big problem. CTE,
Yeah,
no
that's what I was
problem.
thinking. Head injury unless
head
you're
injury.
head injury unless it's serious like a bleed or something. Wasn't
Mm,
Casano had it?
I think
Casano,
it's like a
Antonio
concussion.
Casano, but he had a hemorrhage from it.
yeah, a little knock.
Yeah, that's
It's a
Mm,
fine.
concussion. It's a concussion. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
And then, let's move on to the Palace game. Palace Man City
Oh
game.
boy, let's go.
Must win. Absolute must win by hook or by
It
crook.
is.
Yeah.
It is going to be a tough game.
What do you guys see? What do you see from this tomorrow?
Oh man.
Can I list off my stats real
Yep.
fast?
Yeah.
Yep.
Palace have won, I think, 11 or 9 of their last 12. They beat us, I believe, or they drew against us. I think Arsenal and Liverpool are the only ones that have beaten them in the top 8. Every other
Mm-hmm.
team that they've played against, they've drawn. They don't drop points easily. It's going to be a tough, tough game. Must win, but it's going to be tough. I think if you come out with a draw, consider yourself lucky. Otherwise, I think they have the potential to beat teams that are physical, play with pace. Their forwards really bruise defenders and even the midfield with the sort of runs that they make, and even in the box with the crosses. That's what I'm scared of on the
But
corners with them.
a draw doesn't do us any good. It really
It
doesn't do us any good.
it,
My
it does it doesn't. But if you go just off of their form, they're in good form off of these last run of
we're at
games.
home. We're at home. We should win. We should win. Like if people love to, even though I don't, even though I don't really think there's a difference between playing home and away. You can say the crowd whatsoever, but I don't know.
They got a
Every
good
single
gap
game
as
is
okay.
well.
every single game is a must win. So
Listen. It's crazy that I'm being the optimist in this situation, but can I pose a few factors over here that I think
yeah,
might play a big role?
go ahead.
Firstly, remember they have no Gehi because Gehi was suspended last
Okay.
game.
Mhm.
So that's a big miss for
Oh,
them.
that's
They don't
right.
really. Yep. So Gehi not playing means it's most likely gonna be Joel Ward,
Mm-hmm.
35-year-old center back. So he was a right back, but him coming in. Listen, if we can't really target them because I think the American center back they have is injured, so it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be most likely it's gonna be Joel Ward. So immediately you have a weak point there. Second of all, and this is once again, I'm surprised that no one's really talking about this. Is the gaffer has been linked to a move away to Spurs, and they're expecting to get it announced sometime next week or the week after that. Glasner to take over from Ange
He's a
when he's
good
sacked.
coach. He's a good
So
coach.
Yeah. So once again,
You won the
so
Europa
when you
League.
already know a team knows that Agatha's on the way out, they don't really tend to perform that much. And obviously, Palace are one of the teams that have already secured safety. Remember this.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's going to play a factor. So once again, these are a couple factors that can play into our hands, but it'll still be a tough game because firstly, early kickoffs always nasty. Yeah, 12:30 early kickoff tomorrow is not going to be easy. Do you know what I mean? Like even if it's at
Yeah.
home, it's still an early kickoff and it's not going to be nice. But
And the crowd might not be up for it as well.
yeah, I'll be honest, I don't see many games that we will offer it regardless this season.
mm,
It is what it is. But yeah, we just have to get it done, bro. I'll be honest.
I'm just seeing the Crystal Palace games, and I think they've been impressive since January.
Hamza, they've been amazing, bro.
yeah.
But
Oh, they beat Brighton with 10 men.
yeah, but Hamza, tomorrow, did you hear what I said about the team tomorrow?
No.
So you know Gay, he's suspended, right?
Yeah, suspended. I know he's suspended, yeah.
Yeah, and also one
I know
sec, let me
Pope.
just. And the other centre back is also injured.
He's got a head injury, yeah. I know. I was told that.
Let me just quickly have a look here. So one
And
sec.
Nketiah is out, so but he doesn't start. The rest are fit.
No, one sec. So it's
Nunes,
not just that. So when we look at yeah, so you know the American defender, Chris
yeah,
Richards or whatever his name
yeah,
is. He's a doubt,
that's
so he's not fit as of now.
yeah.
So they have to most likely start Joel Ward in it. They don't really have another defender that can start there.
Mm.
What I will say though, in terms, listen, tomorrow we have to be careful because I low-key think they've actually got a very good attack. You know, it's actually kind of mad underrated. Yeah, they've got
Mm.
Ismail Assar,
Yeah, they're good.
Mm.
Ezra, and
Mm.
then Mateta. That's a great front three. You know, wow, didn't even clock it.
Boy, it's mad.
Hamza, that's a better front three than ours for most of the season.
100%. 100%. And all they need to do, they just need to lock up Mamouche. We're not scoring any goals.
We
Yeah?
have to be careful with the lineup tomorrow, Hamza. We have to be very careful.
Who do you think starts tomorrow?
I think Nico will start tomorrow because he did
He
not start the
better. He
United
better.
game, so naturally he's gonna start. Because obviously Palace is not like on obviously on paper it's not a big game as the derby in it.
Mm.
And he recently just came out in a press conference. He said, "Listen, the selection was mostly based on experience and people who know the
Mm.
derby and all of that nonsense, whatever." But
Mm.
regardless, I think Nico's gonna start. I think KDB is gonna be benched tomorrow.
So defense is gonna be
So defense is most likely gonna be the same as United and
Nunes,
the last
Diaz,
game. So Nunes, Diaz,
Guardiola,
Gavadio, Nico Riley.
Rico
That's your
Lewis.
back four.
Huh?
In the middle, you've got Nico Gonzalez.
Yeah.
You've got Gundogan. That's the
Mm-hmm.
two.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, wait one sec. I just realized Foden's not playing tomorrow. So that means so Nico
Doku,
Gonzalez,
Savinho.
Doku Savio, Marmoush is more or less
Yeah,
that just kind of more or less handles itself.
and then the 10.
So Doku's
Ten's
playing
either
as
going to
Savinho.
be KDB, but then yeah, I think that's the lineup because I don't think he's
Yeah.
gonna start Oscar Bob.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
So
don't
it's
like what
most
they're
likely
doing
gonna
with
be
Oscar
that
Bob.
lineup. Yeah.
I don't like what they're doing with Oscar Bob.
Yeah.
This whole
Why not?
notion that well, he's healthy, he's back. You need to find out what you have between now and the Club World Cup.
Bro, we have a new signing who's not even been registered in any of the squads that have played Premier League or the FA Cup.
Echeverry is not
Echeverry
being.
has not played a single minute, but I see him doing media stuff with Nico Gonzalez every single day, or and I see his pictures in
Train.
training. But then he's not been near the pitch. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's annoying. That's annoying. You've
Safe, you
got
know what
you've
that?
got you've got
That's
KDB. Go ahead.
no, go for it. I'll go after you.
No. Go ahead. It's all right. It's all right.
They're selling hope, and I don't like that because you only sell hope when you know that there's rot behind the doors, and you don't want the fans to pay attention to the rot. That's what I don't like. Putting out these videos, and again, it's an aspect of it, but it's like, okay, just find out what you have.
Yeah.
If you're saying they're not good enough or they're good enough in practice, find out what they can do in the Premier League. At least then you know, okay, now we're justified to send them out on loan. Now we're justified on letting them stay. If not, it's just I don't get it. You hyped up Oscar Bob coming into the season. He had a
Bro, how
decent.
can I? You know what? Yeah, listen. As much as I disagree with the notion that like, players have to do something to like warrant praise and all of that in terms of like achievements or long term performances, but the reception Oscar Bob received there. Someone said like that was actually embarrassing the way we hyped them up
It's
when
true.
there's like,
It's
listen, I
true.
get it. At the same point, bro, listen.
But
Sometimes then, I'll say this here. You can see a player's quality is so evident, bro, and when you're starving, absolutely starving, and just bereft of any quality in the team, and when you see the ounce of quality coming through, that Jogo Bonito, do you know what I mean? That's what it is, bro. That's the truth. People
man,
saw that quality. He was moving different, and we were like, wow, you know what? This guy is the one to watch out for. He's gonna be the guy
I,
for this
I, I,
season.
I don't know what the club is playing now. Are they trying to just wind us up and make us angry? I generally don't understand what they're doing. KDB is not. There's been some sort of decline in performances, or there's been you've he's been in contract talks. He's been in negotiations. Like Foden's going through stuff physically and mentally, and yet you buy a guy was gonna come in January. You let him go on the tournament on an international tournament, fair enough, and yet you don't play him, and we're struggling in that position. Either you're trying to wind up the fans, or you're just clueless. Like seriously, I don't know what the club is playing at. You've had 3 years. You've had 3-4 years to address that position, that number 10 position, and you failed to do so. I don't know. I don't know what the club is playing at. I really don't know
Oh,
what the
I'll be
club.
honest, bro. It's tough to say, innit? Because really and truly, like, we obviously are in the rebuild state right now. There's a lot of question marks or whatnot, but
And it could be set back a year or two, depending if we qualify for
guys, I have
Champions
another
League.
theory. I hate to do this right now, but I actually have another
Go ahead.
theory. Yeah. And Hamza, hear me out on this. Yeah. By the way, this is just a theory. I'm not saying this is
Go
actually
ahead.
happening, but
Just say it. Rip off the band-aid. Rip off the band-aid.
do you think this sabotage is a bit on purpose for next season, especially
Yes,
because
I'm starting to think it's self-sabotage from Pep. I'm generally starting to.
what's that? Listen to me. Listen to me. One
yeah.
second. Listen to me.
What do you mean?
The only reason I'm saying this is because the old Pep would by now already work out a solution as to what to do and what not to do and just figure it
Mhm.
out or just plug gaps or whatever. Either way, he will just make it work here. Do you think because of the way the season's gone and the fact that he's extended the contract till 2027 and he's very serious about the rebuild, yeah?
Mm,
He's looked at our realistic chances next season, yeah, in
mm,
terms of the league, in terms of cups, club World Cup, all of that, yeah. He's
mm,
gone, wait a minute, the pressure will be so high next season because
mm,
of how bad the season's been. The
mm,
pressure will be for us to win all of the titles, yeah.
mm,
Pressure will be to win the champs, to win the league, to win the cup, to win this, to win that, yeah.
mm,
If he then and walk with me on this, yeah.
mm.
Yep.
If he now drops the team into Europa League, is there any pressure to win the Europa League?
Yes,
No.
100%. 100%.
No,
No,
no, no.
no.
100%.
No, one sec, one
What's
sec.
the point?
Listen, just
The
walk
thing
with
is,
me. Just walk with me.
what?
What's one sec?
Okay.
You drop into the Europa League, there's absolutely no pressure to win the Europa League because the club wants you to be in the champs and win the Champs League, yeah? So no pressure means what? He has the rebuild in his palms where He does the setup for the team for the league. He focuses on the league, the Europa League till the group stages, till the latter stages when we go into like roughly quarterfinals. He puts out like a meaty team or like a sporadic team with like senior players here and there. And then he gets to know who he can trust, who he can't trust. And then after that season, because listen, next year we'll definitely make it a Champions League. He knows that, the squad will know that, everyone knows that, yeah. He will then want to go out on a high by taking even more credit that, I got them back into Champions League from the Europa League. We competed in the Europa League. I was able to do the rebuild. I was able to add all of these players. I made sure to build a core again by knowing who I can trust in the team and who not. And then when he leaves in 2027, by then another manager is ready to take over.
Nah,
What do you think, Hamza?
if we're gonna be in Europa,
He's
better win.
Yeah, but
Better win. He has to
mind you,
win.
Europa is only gonna be one season, and then we go back into the
Yeah, no,
Champions League.
I don't care. I don't
he's
care.
he's
He has to win. He has to win
he's,
it. He
he's
has
a
to win.
narcissist. He's a narcissist.
Yeah, he's a
But
narcissist. No,
but listen,
And
Hamza, a narcissist would do exactly what I told you.
no,
Though.
no,
no.
Am I
no.
wrong,
He,
Daniel? Please.
he cares about his reputation too much.
No. You.
I'm saying that.
I'm gonna
He's
agree with
stressed.
Safe. I'm gonna agree with Safe on this one for one reason only. If he makes the Champions League this season, going into next season, like Safe said, the pressure is there.
Bro, it's the same.
Decision making, reinforcement. Let's say even the next signing, he won't have as much of a say. It's going to be on Hugo. If he goes to
There you
Europa League, full focus is on the Premier League. He has a bigger say in the rebuild because if he gets the next manager to the Champions League,
No.
He's
No,
Hamza.
I tell you why.
Hamza.
He
Narcissists
doesn't.
love power and control.
Yeah, but he knows he cares about his reputation too much. He cares about. He's never played Europa League
Hamza,
ever.
you have no idea the things he will do. But once again, you
Yeah.
have to remember,
Do you know?
the
What
state
this
we're
season?
in, the
He,
state we're in to go to the Europa League, and you're not already in the press
would never
conferences.
have
He's
signed a
talking about.
contract if
I'm
they were not.
telling you
Yeah, but
this. I'm
listen,
telling you
this is
this.
we're literally explaining to you why he signed a contract and why
Safe,
he's doing all of this,
safe.
though.
If he does this, then all the Pep critics and haters are right that he is an egomaniac and he's a narcissist. That I will have to apologize to all the critics. And if you know a guy called HH, this guy is the biggest hater and he's a Chelsea fan. And I have to apologize to him and say,
brother.
all your criticisms about Pep were 100% right. If he drags us into Europa League,
Anything that I've
and he
said,
doesn't,
like crazy to
and
you,
he doesn't win it, and he wants to rebuild it just to be for his ego, that will piss me off. I will never be Pep out.
because listen, let me ask you guys,
lose respect for him.
Let me ask you guys, what allows a manager to rebuild in a better state? Not having the pressure of all the competitions, or just focusing on Premier League for the season, having the domestic cups go however they go, solely focusing on the Premier League, not having the pressure of the Champions League. Then mind you, it would not matter if we're in the with the Champions League, because the signings would have already been agreed and discussed with. If you bring in a Florian Wirtz, no problem. The Florian Wirtz would know, even if we are in the Europa League, for example, he's not going to play much in the Europa League unless the final stages. He's still going to be competing in the Champions League the following season, That's not going to be a problem in his contract or whatever the case is. No problem at all. As with any other big signing. The only problem is the manager will do this to make sure that when he leaves, by the time he leaves, the rebuild and everything he's done with the pressures and all of that. Because remember, is it easier to tell the people that I failed in the champs again in the following season, or is it to tell the people, listen, the team was so bad, we were in Europa, I wasn't even in the champs? This is Pep we're dealing with, by the way. You guys have to remember this.
I won the league and I got them back in Champions League.
There you go, Daniel. You're catching on now. Do you know what I mean?
I would
Listen,
What a maniac who
Hamza.
does that.
I'm just
What a
saying. I'm
maniac
just saying,
who does
guys.
that.
Listen, I'm just saying.
Hamza, listen to this, okay? Hamza.
No,
This is the
let's leave this.
same.
this
Hamza. This is
Pep's a
the
winner.
same. Hamza. This is the same man in the
Hamza,
Champions
you're
League
not
final.
listening.
The
I know what
same
you're
man
trying to say. He's
in the
not.
champion. Hamza. Champions League final. Champions League final.
Mm.
He said, I don't need a CDM.
Yeah.
Future Ballon d'Or winner, he said, I don't need you. Champions League heritage, the
Absolutely.
anthem, UEFA. He said, I don't need you to win.
Mm.
It's not just that he's narcissistic, Hamza. It's a level of power that he says will be proven right, even if you all think you're the same guy that told us this guy won so much. He said I can leave right now and not do a rebuild, and he didn't think we were gonna be this bad. But guess what? We were this bad,
Mm.
and now if he justifies things, you think he wants to stay with less power? You think he wants to see some guy, the sporting director from Portugal who's never won much, tell him what signings to make and what not on a rebuild?
Mm.
Hamza, if there's friction, and I think there's going to be friction, if there's friction between Hugo and Pep, and
Mm.
they go to the board and they go to Sheikh Mansour, which power do you think is going to win? Be honest.
Pep.
Pep.
Mm.
Dub down the expectations. Focus on one area. Concentrate your power, and
There
then you
you
get
go.
to leave it. You get to leave
This
in a seat.
isn't Pep FC. This is Manchester City FC. Come on.
Well,
No,
listen.
but
For some,
listen, you say that, but then look at the control that Pep has, bro. I'm sorry, you guys
yeah.
are underestimating the
But
control Pep has.
let me give my theory why. Pep has always played UCL. Pep has played with the greatest players ever. Pep has been inspired by one of the greatest managers ever. His reputation is key. He's never played Europa. To me, this is the reason why he stayed. Because if he had won 5 in a row, he would have walked out. But because even he left his wife on the basis of staying back,
He's
because
a psycho. I wouldn't leave my
how
wife
much
for
it,
Manchester
But
it's
but
City.
but
causing the
Hamza,
pain. Look, look, it's
without
causing so much pain to be
no,
used.
no,
He has
Hamza,
been labeled as
Hamza, you're looking
this
at
is
it
the
from the
reason
wrong.
why he stayed.
No, Hamza, you're
You
looking at it
will
from the
not.
wrong prism. What
You'll
if
see.
he was he Hamza? I
Mm,
don't like getting in people's personal business. Okay,
mm,
you say he's a narcissist. I know he loves power and
mm,
control.
mm.
What if the wife was the one that left him? Because she's tired of the power and control too.
There you go.
Hamza, come on.
Mm.
Hamza, connect the dots here, bro. Listen, you have to
No,
understand
he will
when
never play
it's a
Europa.
narcissist, listen, it would not matter to his. One sec.
He's never
You
played
have to
Europa.
understand, yeah? Pep's reputation will not be affected by any of this. You know, already done more than Manchester City and this project could have imagined.
Mm,
Of course.
Do you have to understand that? Yeah. So
mm,
mind you, his objective was to take us to the next level in Europe and
mm,
elevate us as a Premier League club. He's
mm,
done more than
Or,
that.
would
He's
would
made
this
us
be?
a
Would
power.
this be fair?
One sec. He's made us a powerhouse and a juggernaut in
mm,
Europe in terms of not only did he win the champs, he won
mm,
it in by winning the treble. Yeah. So
mm,
even if a Pep fails the season after, yeah,
mm.
it would not affect his reputation, Hamza. That's the biggest mistake
That's
that any. Listen, you think Twitter narratives decide?
nah.
No one. Listen,
It's
how many. What's
it's
it? Let me ask
outside.
you this here. No, one sec. Let me ask you this. How many Twitter pundits or actual, like, like you watch all of these pundits on television, journalists and whatnot. Have you
Mm,
seen any journalist or pundit or Twitter media or any of these guys come out and say that Pep's a failure? It's our
mm,
fans. It's
yeah.
literally
Yeah,
our fans.
yeah.
It's literally our fan base who's saying that. Not a single one of them has questioned it. Why?
Facts.
Why? Because they know what Pep's done is already overachieved in the sense of where he's taken City from to where they are right now. So if Pep was to drop to a Europa League, bro, Pep's reputation is not affected. He does not
No,
give a fuck because he can
no.
turn around and say, "Look what I've done for this club. Look
It's
where I've
Safe.
taken them to where they were."
Safe. We're going to the Club World Cup. Okay, this rebuild's important. They say the rebuild is important. The rebuild's important. Integrating the players in, training them off the pitch. He's thinking about golf, Hamza. In a rebuild phase that's going to be critical for the next 2-3 years. He's
mm,
thinking about golf. If we were serious about this, do we really need the money from the Club World Cup? Let's be honest. Do we
If we
really?
don't if we don't make Champions League, yes. If we do make Champions League, no.
We
If we
need the
do make
money for.
Champions League, yes, we do. Yes, we do. Because
We
we're gonna
need
lose.
the.
We're gonna lose the money from the Champions League if we don't make Champions League.
Yep.
We are gonna lose the
Yes,
money
yes, but
because
we're also
we'll
going to.
complain. We'll complain for not addressing the rebuild, for not addressing certain positions in the squad. So
But we're also going to need the money because we made some bad signings that
Facts.
we now have to reinforce. So now you said a valid point. Now we got to go to the Club World Cup to get the money. Are we taking
Let
it
me ask you
serious?
this, yeah? And let me ask you an even better
We're
question
playing
now.
golf.
See? No, one sec. See, you lot made the point about losing money, yeah?
Mm.
So this is amazing, you know. What's
No
gonna
way.
get you more? What's it? Hear me out this year. What's gonna get you more money next season? A guarantee that you will win the Premier League, or no guarantee because you're in the champs and because in the latest stage of the champs anything can happen. You neither win the Premier League or the champs, and then you go again next season. What's gonna get you more money?
The Premier League. It's not even close.
There's the answer.
It's
How
the
much
Premier
you
League.
think winning
And
Premier
one
League?
sec. And if you win Europa, that's bonus money, even if it's pennies or chips that goes back into the club.
How much you get
And
for winning Premier League?
I
The
think you
Premier.
get like
It's
100
30.
plus.
It's $30 million between first and fourth, where you
No,
finish.
it's more now because you get the TV rights and all of
The
that
TV rights
coming
is
in.
right. Yeah, and I know if you win Europa League, I think the total prize earnings that you can
One
get
sec.
is like
One sec. Let me just double check this just to be sure.
Oh
Prize
man, that's
money
good.
for winning Premier League. There you go, Hamza. So, um, the prize money is one sec.
it's
Oh,
13
there you go. So
million
if
to
you win
win
the Premier
Europa
League,
League.
roughly with the TV rights and sponsorships and all of those combined, you can earn up to, once again, not confirmed, but this is a rough stat. This is an example, for example, in 2022. Guess how
Mm.
much we earned in 2022 for Premier League prize?
Mm.
80 million.
No, 153 million is what we earned from
Now
winning the.
guess how?
And also,
Guess how?
listen, one more thing. This year, because obviously the TV rights have gone up higher, yeah. So
Mm.
here's another thing, yeah. Guess how much Liverpool are going to be winning based on the fact that obviously, and mind you, we have bigger sponsorships and TV rights than Liverpool. This is factual. This
Yeah,
is not made up. So they're getting 176 million just for winning the Prem.
yeah.
We if we win the Prem next year, if we win the Prem next year, that's roughly 200 million guaranteed. That's done. So Hamza,
Now
would
do
you chase
Europa
the
League.
200? Would you
Do
chase the
Europa League.
200 million, or would you rather risk losing out on that 200 million and not get anything? Because
I think
remember,
he's
you
not.
can't win the Prem and the Champs both. It's either
Yeah,
you win the
I know.
Prem or the Champs.
I
Next
understand.
season we don't have the squad to do both. So
He will
when
not
you, if
be.
let's say if and Hamza, remember this year, if
Mm.
you're in Europa, you fuck that competition, bro. You say, get rid of this shit. I don't want to be here. If you go far, that's a bonus. If you don't, no problem. But you
Yeah,
get that Premier League guaranteed. That's 200 million there, right there,
I just think that he cares about his rep than the club.
bro. But once
Hamza,
again, his reputation is not affected. That's literally what we've been
It
discussing,
does.
bro.
It does. I
How?
think
Okay,
Ham,
how is
Ham,
explain
people
to me how is his reputation
people
affected?
will say we compared you to Fergie. That's
Hamza,
why you never
people
rate Fergie.
forget people in Twitter, bro. Do you think
No,
Pep
that's
works off,
the general narrative will be said.
bro? Okay, do you think the
Fergie
actual
throws.
pundits and all of these people
Yeah,
will think that way?
absolutely, 100%,
Are you crazy, Hamza? Do you know where
100%,
he's taken City from and where he's
100,
put them to?
100%. They're gonna say through the
Hamza, that's Twitter
adversity.
narrative. Wallahi, that's
Listen,
all it is a space
they will
narrative.
say
Twitter
through the
spaces narrative.
adversity, Fergie never finished in Europa League. They're gonna
Okay,
say
wait. So Fergie, one
get
sec.
ready for that.
Fergie, one sec. So all of the greatest managers in history, Fergie, Mourinho, all of these, they never played Europa.
He played Europa, but through when he
So
built
there
his
you go.
squad,
So they did play
no,
Europa. Forget.
he played in
Listen, the argument's already over, Hamza. If
no.
they played Europa, Pep's not bigger. Pep's
So
not
why
big
does
enough
he
to
look
not play
stressed?
Europa.
Why is he so stressed? Why is
You
he
know
so
why he's
stressed?
stressed? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. It's because the expectations next season have to come accordingly, and he's also stressed because he has never messed up this bad. In the
Yeah,
sense that
that's
he,
what I'm saying. So
bro, but
that's what I'm
okay.
looking for.
So Hamza, how do you think he's gonna get it all right in one summer, and then next year he can go win the Prem and the Champs and everything?
He can still if he sorts out the midfield. I told you the thing that will win you the Prem.
Hamza, do you really think we're Champions League ready in terms of winning the Champs
100%.
next year?
If you
You
get
do not believe that after
if
watching the football we have played this
okay,
season, you don't think just the midfield will sort that out,
if
bro?
you get two quality midfielders, yeah, that's it. If you get two quality midfielder,
Listen, Hamza, Premier League, I agree with you. We can chase the Premier League, no problem. We're not doing it in the Champions League,
Champions
bro.
League's a different animal.
Champions League's a different gravy, bro.
Champions
Different
League, you
gravy.
just need to back the bus. I'm telling you now.
Hamza, you're gonna walk into the San Siro against Barella with Morgan Gibbs White?
No, that's why I don't want that to happen. That's why I don't want
Hamza,
that.
listen, even better. Let me throw you this here. One sec. So you're gonna go to the San Siro, yeah? You're gonna turn up with, fair enough, you have Florian Wirtz and Baleba, for example. That's your two ideal midfielders, done and dusted.
Yeah, and Rodri.
And Rodri, fair enough. What about the fullbacks and the wingers? Are you telling me you're confident going to San Siro with Doku, Savio, Rico Lewis, and flipping, what's his name? Who am I forgetting? And Nico Riley.
I think you can do well.
Yeah, why Ed look like a professional blogger,
Welcome,
man?
Veto.
Bigger Veta, man.
Veto look all pro. He got the big headphones, the big
Veto,
mic.
man. Legend Veto.
No, listen.
Subscribe to this guy. Big up Veto.
Bigger Veta, man.
If I'm gonna join Professor Hamza's show, I gotta come correct. You know what I mean? Look at all you guys off camera, not want to show your faces. What up, Abdallah? What up?
He said I got the big mic.
Yeah.
I've been listening, Professor. I've been listening, and
listen from Veto, yeah.
Listen, I'm just a theorist. Veta, don't criticize me.
Nah, don't do that, Safe. Don't do that because you're sneaky with your theories. You like it's Inception with you. You like to just drop these little gems.
You gotta think.
First of all, I gotta say this, and maybe I'm gonna come across as the Pep defender, so maybe I should change my hat from black to white.
Go on, please.
Guys, he's a serial winner. Like when you guys want to talk about being a narcissist or being ego driven, he's not going to concede.
Veta, I'm starting to see why HH dislikes this man. I understand why.
No.
I understand where the characteristics that I've seen this season is proving the haters slightly right.
Okay, if you're seeing different characteristics in Pep that you haven't seen since he's been here, I don't know how you've been looking at this man. This man is all about winning from the very beginning, from his early days even at Barca, irking people by saying you're not going to work within my system, you got to go. By doing all of that, it's all been about his ego on what he believes it takes to win. To win, that doesn't change. So
does that
I know.
Okay. This
I know
is why I have to counteract. But sorry, this is why I counteract.
Yeah.
So I saw the quote. I have the quote in front of me, and big up Patrick. He's quoted this. He's quoted Pep again. Loyalty useless. He said Pep on why he didn't start Nico against Bournemouth and United. I quote, I decide for the players with experience that maybe know better the older patterns. I wanted players that know exactly what we have to do and know the position. It's not against him. Basically saying Nico doesn't play sideways backwards football, but the players that the three grandfathers know how to play sideways backwards football. That's what he's basically saying to us.
It basically says he wants players that has experience, though.
No, but it's basically saying the players that basically obey every single order, who play sideways backwards.
No, see, now that's when you do too much. That's when you take these quotes and then you do it overhanded, right?
I'm seeing it from the evidence that I've seen and the quotes that he's saying.
Yeah, but you're gonna pick and choose. You're gonna pick and choose when what he's doing is wrong or right. Now the quotes coming out, I understand why he would field the squad of 11 that he trusts, right? With regards to a derby, he's going to field the players that he trusts. But at the same time, I'm in agreement where, well, you could have mixed it up. It maybe didn't need to be Gundo, Kova, KDB, and Bernardo Silva, but that's where we can kind of criticize the manager. But at the end of the day, we also understand what he means by trusted players on there. So the reason why I believe this is such a great season, because we're able to see how our fan base are coping with this. And it's really it's the first year that we should have doubt. It's the first year that we should have doubted this manager, but it shouldn't be like this.
No.
Right?
Look,
No, but wait, okay. One second.
I didn't expect to win the league. I fully didn't expect to win the league, but I at least didn't expect to the point where we were struggling to make Champions League football. I didn't expect.
Okay, but let me ask you this later.
Yeah.
Listen, once again, fair enough. Listen, you know what happens when you get on platforms like these, when you're comfortable in city spaces, especially when there's like-minded people, you get to actually talk about your club and your players and your manager.
Absolutely.
It kind of, listen, I won't lie, it tends to lead to a bit of waffle sometimes, and I won't. I'm a victim of that.
We all do it. If we talk long enough, we're gonna be changing our minds.
Listen, 100%, I agree with it. Yeah, and it happens in spaces as well.
Yeah.
But once again, going back to the main point, why do you think it's like crazy for me to theorize that the Europa League theory, if you heard it, what I was saying about regarding to it?
Yeah,
I'm not saying Pep wants to go into Europa League. I'm just saying it might make the rebuild easier. And there's multiple factors in that. Firstly, you get to identify a new core, key or core for the season, in terms of you have the right players available at all times. So you have the longevity in terms of availability, in terms of setting them in the right system. You have that. Because in the Europa League, it's easier to rotate. In the Champions League, from the get-go, because of the nature of the group stage now, you can't do that. You have to win majority of your games in the group stage, and then if you don't, then you have to play an extra game. If you make into the top 24,
when you finish, I've got 2 points to
but safe. As you say that,
are you trying to like see where I'm trying to come from though?
No, I see what you're coming from. But as you say that, because you're talking about comfortability, you're talking about prioritizing. Why, with us qualifying for Champions League, would the manager and the club not prioritize the league? Like, why are you saying because we drop into Europa, we're then going to be better suited to focus on the league? Whereas if we qualify for Champions League, the club will still prioritize the league. We've always done that.
But
and that's why Pep got the criticism over past years, because we have prioritized the league in addition to try to win Champions League.
I agree with you, but there's a big reason. There's a big reason why. Once again, it's not that the club will prioritize or Pep will prioritize. I just think they'll be able to focus on the league in a better manner. They'll be able to approach it in a better fashion.
I disagree because let me
just ask you this here: will you have the liberty to rotate as much as you can in the Europa, or would you have the liberty to rotate as much as you can in the Champions League group stages? Mind you, because the current format does not allow for much rotation if you have to go through all of the teams per se.
No, I got you. So if we play Europa, we're playing Thursday, Sunday. If we play Europa.
Yeah.
If we play Champions League, we got Tuesday, Wednesday, and we're either playing Saturday, Sunday. So when you talk about rotation, I hear your theory only if we prioritize Champions League. Because then it's a matter of playing your best 11 in the league and your best 11 in Champions League. But if it's a rebuild, like we're all on this panel describing, and we're all saying what's better for us moving forward, if it's a rebuild, we have to get back to winning ways for the Prem. And I think we prioritize the Prem. If it falls on a week where, quote unquote, we play lesser competition going into the Champions League, then maybe that reverses. Then maybe our stronger 11 takes a week off not playing Prem. He maybe plays, quote unquote, the fringe players or the youngsters or whatever, and he plays the heavy hitters for the Champions League. But because it's the league format, we can also look and take our chances on how we're going to manage it. I think we learn the best of our club. I think we prioritize the best if we're in the Prem, in Champions League, and we know exactly the quality that we need to acquire. I can't.
I agree with you.
I myself can't look at Pep for as for as ruthless, and I know this season, this is why I know our fan base are losing their minds, because this season it's like, Pep, you're showing so much like kindness or favoritism or sentimentality towards these guys.
Yep.
And we're all saying it, but
Yeah, he's
previous to
gone
this,
soft.
I mean, they're saying he's gone soft this season. It's to continue on. I think he's gone. Me observing, I think he's gone soft because it was to play out. This season was to play out like past, like when we had the 1 year where we said bye to Company. Then we had the next year
Yeah.
where we said bye to Silva. Then we had the next year where, you know what I mean? It was one after the other. It's kind of hit us. It's hit us, and the sentimentality that he's kind of shown, it's unfortunate. It's crippled us for where we should be, but I don't think that's him. I think Pep is still that serial winner. And it's just it's a case of everything hitting at once. Y'all mentioned the domestic stuff. I think that's played a part. Obviously, how the board looked at how we went into this season and didn't strengthen. And this is another thing. Anyone that wants to say that Pep is the decider on the players coming in, he doesn't have quotes like everyone's been killing Pep about. If he wants these players, he doesn't talk about Calvin Phillips that way. If Calvin Phillips was a Pep signing, he doesn't talk about Mateus Nunes like this. If he was a Pep signing, so we got to understand it's him and working with Tiki, working with the board on, and they got it wrong as a group. They got it wrong. I think he's like when Professor Hamza is like, nah. His ego's not going to allow it. I don't think his ego is going to allow another season like this, and he's definitely not going out of this 2-year extension losing. So I think we're going to see ruthless Pep again. I honestly think we're going to see that.
So then, I mean, that's actually fantastic points made, and that kind of more or less just debunks the whole theory anyway. So
I mean, we can have conflicting theories, but that and again, we'll have to see how this plays out. But I think that many were in panic mode because again, this type of season was never expected, and I think it was quick to kind of label well, maybe Pep is washed. Maybe this is what.
No, listen. For me, firstly, and I think this has to be clarified for many reasons. For me, yeah, and this is just a personal thing. I agree when you say the season had to somehow come about, and it's obviously allowed to showcase a lot of, let's say, the frailties and the fragilities of the fan base, or just maybe put perspective on things in a different manner. I totally agree with that. For me, once again, it's a case where I'm not like Hamza in the sense I'll sack the board or this and that. Like they can't mess up. I'll be honest with you, and if I'm being totally rational, not really getting into some tinfoil hat theory again, for me, whatever happens, firstly, as fans, we'll just have to accept it. Reality is, we don't even know right now if we are going to be in the Champions League or the Europa League or whatever the case is. We literally do not know. The 7 games could go, we could win all 7, and we could bottle half of them and not know where we end up. You know what I mean? So we genuinely have no guarantee as to where we're going to end up. So it's not a case about me preferring to be in the Europa League to prioritize the league, or me being in the Champions League. We literally don't know what's going to happen.
I hear that.
The club, I think what we know is the club always will prioritize to finish in the highest spot. They will prioritize to be at the very least in the 5th place, because that does get you Champions League. And for me, next season, this entire summer for me is very exciting, yeah, and even January for me is very exciting, because you see, we tend to talk a lot about players and profiles, and this would be good. You know what, X player would be. You know what, Cambiasso would be good because he can invite. You know what, Florian Wirtz is the best talent. If I'm being brutally honest with you, yeah, I could not give 2 fucks about who comes in. Honest to God, I do not care about who comes in. For me, looking forward to next season.
I got to challenge you, Safe. I got to challenge you. You say that only because you don't know who's leaving.
No, I say that regardless.
Really?
I say that regardless. Do you know why? And this is once again why. And this goes back to the point where, regardless of how many theories I do or whatever I say about the manager or tactics this season, yeah. For me, bro, listen, when I look at City from the outset, yeah, 90% of the times we tend to get the signings right. 90% of the times. 90% of the times the fan base has a problem with the signing. they're not
Yeah.
happy with it.
And
Yeah.
Safe, let me add to that. 90%
Whether
of the time we get the signings right, but it may not translate year one.
exactly.
Like
So
Rodri is a prime example of
so
that.
there
But
you go.
yeah.
So there's a time factor,
Mhm.
there's the profile factor, whereas everyone was so sold. You remember, like, the best example, once again, I keep going back to this Koulibaly example. Everyone was so sold on Koulibaly, bro.
Yeah.
We'll win the champs with him. He's the guy to get. Yeah.
And
What
it's
happened
Safe. And
when we
Safe.
missed out on Koulibaly? The scale of the meltdown was unbelievable.
Yeah, and
And then
Safe.
when we got
If you
linked to
remember,
Kunde, people like, oh, this guy is 6 foot, he can't even jump. But then, it's like silly things that we were just starting to
yeah.
look at.
And I want to say, Safe, you're on point. And the reason why we were having the meltdown, the reason why the fan base were wilding out is because, to use the analogy, we were starving at the time because defensively we were having our woes. So everyone was losing their mind, like, oh, we need Koulibaly, we need it. What's going on? So I get it. I get it very much.
And
And I'm like you. I'm excited. First of all, I'm desperate for us to finish top five. Like,
but then this is the final point of it all. For
mm,
me, the next 2 years, and the biggest reason for my excitement and why I don't necessarily care about what players we get, bro, if they want to get a Morgan Gibbs White, go get him. No problem. I don't know more than the club and what they think
but the
is
price
the
tag,
right
as long
player
as the
to get.
price
Yeah.
tag's right,
Listen,
as long as the price tag's right.
Peter, I'll go even as far to say I don't even care about the price tag. It's not my money.
No, man, don't try. You
Ah,
just
Listen,
really
listen, one second,
crossed up.
Safe,
guys.
no,
Please,
Safe.
If you're
one
being
second. Just let
hypocrite,
me
man.
land. Let me
Okay,
land.
If you're
Please,
being
okay,
please
go
let
hypocrite,
me
ahead.
land. Yeah.
you pay 100 million for him.
One sec. Hamza, listen. It's not my money. I don't get to decide. They paid
Yeah, you
100 million
are.
for Grealish. Please,
No,
one
but
sec.
half an hour ago
One
you
sec. Just
told us
one
that
second.
you
Just
never
one
pay 100
second.
million.
Hamza, ideally, I like words more, so ideally we get words here. But once again, I'm saying you go and get whoever you think is the right player for the rebuild. I'm
Morgan
looking
is
most
what?
forward to next year and the year after that. These are Pep's last seasons. I don't think he's going to extend beyond that. My interest is in the evolution of Manchester City from the team that we were before to the next phase and the team will become. And what picture will we paint and how Pep will evolve his tactics. Tactically is what I'm most looking forward to because once again, as I said, Veta, we
Mhm.
get most of the signings right. We get most of the players that we really want. Yeah. No one expected Marmoush to come in. We got
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
For me, once again, if you told me in the summer that we'd get someone like a Marmoush, I'd probably not be as excited, but I'd be like, you know what? I guarantee you there'd be people questioning. Before he had like the 18, 19 goal run
yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
Frankfurt, there would be people questioning, oh, is this really the guy? What are we doing? 80 million? Are you joking? What are this? Da, da, da. Do you know what I mean? But because
Mhm.
it was a January signing, I was like, wow, wow, wow. You know what? Let's get him. We need goals. Da, da, da. All of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So once again, the same thing with Kusunov and Victor Hayes or whoever we signed, Echeverry, all of these players.
I'm with you. I'm with you. See, the reason why, and I don't want to hog the microphone. I know there's other panelists. The reason why I'm calm with it too, because again, everyone signed in the January transfer note. Those were all surprises to me. Like I'm not in the transfer circles like you, Professor, and kind of like know what's happening. Even everybody else on here. But when they do come in, I'm like, oh, how highly rated or how much were they talked about, right? I'll do my quick searches and see who was saying what on Twitter X and all that kind of stuff. These signings are all kind of like promising ones, right? They're all respected for where they were signed from with potential. The reason why I'm kind of chill is because I'm confident with what the club's been doing over the years with regards to being more right than wrong. Yeah, we'll get some mess ups, but they've been more right than wrong. And that goes back to even when we let Ferran Torres go, and when we, obviously we had Gomez go. We've done that. We've had our errors, but the reason why I'm like, okay, if we're gonna splash the cash though, I'm hesitant on Gibbs White because I don't know if that ends up being a
Crap.
5-year player like we've
Okay,
tend
but
to
Veta,
get,
let me ask you
right?
this.
Yeah,
He scored 4 goals
Do you one sec?
this season.
Guys, forget
Number
the
10.
goals and assists and all of this, please, please.
He's
And
crap,
this is a
man.
genuine question, yeah.
yeah,
Do
yeah,
you guys honestly think, yeah, from let's say, forget about your money, my money, the club's money, all of this,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Do you genuinely think City will look at a player like Gibbs White and be ready to spend 100 million on him?
Yep, they did it on Nunes. They didn't cut
Hamza,
him.
I'm talking.
No, I don't. I disagree with Florian. I don't think we're going to drop 100 million.
You see the point I'm making now.
Yeah,
Is the distrust this season has created with the transfer and all of this? Yeah, is they
yeah.
think that because we signed 2 or 3 bad players, we're going to continue signing 2 or 3 bad players.
But safe.
Those were
Bad.
bad.
2, 3 bad
Hamza,
players.
whenever we spent 100 million and it's not really worked out for us, even
Grealish.
Grealish,
Yeah.
Grealish. If you're talking about values of worth, he's been value worth for us, bro. If we let him go now, it's really we've made 100 million back, bro. He won the treble with us. He won Premier Leagues with us. He's done 4 in a row. He literally, there's no bigger achievement than a treble in club football.
Yeah, of course.
We made our money back on him. In terms of marketing, he's made all of the money back for CE anyway. He's one of the most marketable faces in the Prem.
Oh,
Sell him now, no problem.
Let me say this real quick.
Morgan Gibbs White will he would never play for a top club.
So Hamza, why do you think we'll get him then? If you say that,
we're rumored to be
30 to 40 million. Fair enough. Once I see more than 40,
Hamza, how much did he join for us for? Does anyone know?
He was playing for Sheffield United Championship 3 seasons.
I'm pretty sure he joined for like 45 or 50 million.
But guys on the panel, let me say this real quick because I remember now when you guys were saying, and I kind of agree with regards to not tanking.
25 million.
When you guys were talking about sabotage, the one thing that I do have my theory, tinfoil hat and all that kind of stuff, I do feel that Pep knows the system that he wants, but he's holding off on executing it. Like because you know how he's always adaptable. It's kind of like, oh, we did this last year. We're not running it back. We were doing the false 9. He didn't do the false 9. We did the, the 3-box-3. We're not doing the 3-box-3. We were doing the inverted. Like he's always doing the next thing. And I think he has it. I think he has what he wants to do, but he's not doing it to surprise the league next year. That's my tinfoil hat because this guy's always been able to make adjustments. And sometimes I'm like, why is nothing changing here, Pep? Why?
Do you know, I'll tell you, a fair price for Morgan Gibbs White is 70-80 million. Anything more than 80 million, 70-80 million is fine.
No, 70-80 million is fine. Guys, one sec.
Anything more than
80 million on him.
Okay, guys, this is what when it gets to this point when people are debating the price levels and whatnot. Yeah, fair enough. It's not our money. Whatever the club will pay, will pay.
And Langer's carrying them.
No, one sec. Listen, Hamza, forget about carrying. Just go, and I just want you to go. Yeah. Firstly, remember, for us to most likely make it the Champions League, Gibbs White has 2 years left on his contract. His agent is the same agent as Jack Grealish. Yeah. I want you guys to consider this thing. Firstly, this is an agent play, which is one of the most obvious things. Agents push out news to Fabrizio they more or less get Fabrizio to pay to posts, essentially. Yeah, this has been happening for a while now. It's not like a mystery or anything. So Morgan Gibbs White, the reason he's being priced that much for Forest is firstly he's looking for Hamza. Listen, Tyler Dibbling 100 million. Do you think a club will actually pay 100 million for Tyler Dibbling?
30 million, and I'll go on.
But guys, listen. This is why I'm telling you. You guys are losing your head without even doing due diligence. Some of you guys,
Hamza is.
No, one sec.
Listen, Hamza. I hate Morgan Gibbs White already.
Listen, you hate him for no reason. Firstly, let's be all.
Why you hate him, bro? What?
You only hate him because his name is Morgan Gibbs White and he's a Forest player. That's it, Hamza.
You'll see tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow you'll have a stink. I'm gonna watch him. He's playing at 3:00.
Listen, Hamza, I'm not gonna watch him. Do you know why? No, one sec.
Bro,
anyone on the panel who's actually done their due diligence and looked at Morgan Gibbs White will know we're definitely not signing Morgan Gibbs White. Do you know why? Because he fits none of the metrics other than having legs. That's it. Does he help the issue of creativity? No, he doesn't. Does he help the issue? Like, is he really a City type of player where he's nimble on the feet, like he carries? He's an elite ball carrier, whatever.
All right,
whatever.
hold on. Safe defensively. What would you say?
Defensively, he puts in a lot of work.
Yes, puts in a shift. He'll press, something that we are lacking. And if he plays off of us, hold on, hear me out. If he plays off of a striker like Haaland, who Haaland doesn't press, it is part where maybe by decision, it's like conserve your energy, do your half effort, get into space, but you're not really pressing like that. We may need someone to do in the dog's work, like a Jordan Henderson, in terms of you're running, you're
basically,
not for 100 million, not for 100 million.
He's a 9 to 5 midfielder.
Exactly, 9 to 5 midfielder. You know them 9 to 5 midfielders. This is literally my point, guys. You would rather
seen the
sign
50-yard pass he did for against us, right?
Let's see him tomorrow against Everton.
Bro, forget this. Listen, Hamza, once again.
Professor
You know
said,
what?
let's wait.
Listen,
Let's wait.
Hamza,
We'll have
you
the
know what your
conversation
problem
again.
is? Hamza, you know what your problem is?
I've
You're doing way too many.
To do a hate
Hamza,
compilation video.
listen, why are you hate watching a player that you're most likely never going to sign? What's the
100
point?
million today.
Hamza,
we do need to watch. No, I'm going to watch the Forest game, not necessarily for a hate watch, but I'm watching everyone that's in that.
I hope no one watches it like Hamza though. We're just hating eyes.
Yeah, bro. Wait,
but let me ask you guys this, yeah. In terms of us needing a number 10, obviously defensive work is one of the biggest sort of factors where he needs to be good off the ball as well, yeah. But what makes you guys think that he's a realistic and actual option? Because I'm telling you right now, if it came down to signing a player from within the league, bro, it has to be Eberechi Eze. That is the player that fits all of the metrics that we're looking for in a number 10. Firstly, you also have to look at the fact,
How much is he going to be worth, that guy?
Eze is going to be 50 million max. 50 million, bro. 50 million is going to get you Eze.
50 million is worth it. He's worth it.
50 million, you go to Palace, you take Eze, no problem. They'll say like, yeah, go ahead, take it.
His contract running on 2028.
Also, mind you, he has, unless I'm wrong, and someone can please cross-check this, he has a release clause as well.
Bless you,
which is like 60 million, I think.
No, 68 million, I thought.
No, 60
Martin
million.
just said Rodgers is on the list. Why would we sell the guy and we'll probably have to pay?
See, once again, listen, all of these guys you're looking at right now, yeah, what's the traits they share, yeah? And once again, none of these are CE level players because Morgan Rodgers, good ball carrier, not like creative or anything. He's got one sec. Morgan Gibbs White, engine. Morgan Rodgers, engine. These are engines.
He's the guy I want.
Okay, so let's say
Hamza. Okay, well, let me ask you
then
this.
we gotta find engine with quality because that is an aspect that we.
And his name is Florian Wirtz.
Rebuild.
And his name is Florian Wirtz, Veta.
Okay. All right.
His name is literally Florian Wirtz.
I'm not.
You have an engine. You have someone who is creative. You have someone who's an elite ball carrier. You have someone who has the potential to go and reach even higher highs.
Can I tell you? Should I break the thing for you? The confidence issue. Listen, you rate this guy. Kvaratskhelia was worth 45 million January, and you're going to spend 70 million that Morgan Gibbs White. What a shame.
I was not giving up on this one.
The people should be sacked at that football club. Like, I'll just bring a youngster.
Yeah, but Hamza, do you think we were just gonna sign like a third or fourth left winger just because we had the option to or something, bro?
I'm sorry, you make smart choices. I'm looking, who are these guys that sit in the board? I want to know the guy who sat down and say, guys, in a meeting.
Let's be honest. The only reason
they sat down, yeah. Everyone wrote their list, and some random fraud came out with, guys, I've got a name, Morgan Rodgers, and everyone must have.
Is it because he's a Forest player?
Yeah.
No, he's not good enough. Forest, no, Hamza. To be fair to Forest are above us for a reason. They have an energetic midfield who probably
Morgan Gibbs White right now.
Morgan Gibbs White right now, he's better than probably most of our midfielders. Better than most of our midfielders.
All of them.
Yes, exactly. We have 4 grandfathers in midfield. Unfortunately, we have 4 grandfathers in midfield who need to either be demoted to the bench or need to leave the club. So
Morgan Rodgers, yes, but not this Morgan Gibbs White.
Hamza, okay, one second. Let me ask you this.
This is the thing with more. Sorry to cut you off, Safe, but
it's
what doesn't make sense about Morgan Rodgers. Fine, I'll happily take him back to the club. But why did we let him go in the first place? It makes no sense whatsoever.
Because it does, bro. Come on, man.
He wasn't ready at that time.
He wasn't ready.
He was not ready. And firstly, listen, guys.
So we made.
We can't really.
10 million
Guys,
off
it's
off each team.
sometimes you guys have to
You have to
accept,
pay
yeah.
60 million, 60, 80 million. So yeah, I don't know. I couldn't care less
Bro,
about the price.
I'll be honest. Sometimes you guys have to accept that a lot of these academy players, we were very successful at the time. So when you look back at the most successful period of our club's history,
Yeah,
a lot of these players unfortunately had to go. Rogers had to go. Lavia had to go. Gittins
I
had to
know.
go. Palmer had to go. We
Mm.
won so much even with selling them because we had the right tools in place. I promise you, if we win the lot next season, you will not be sitting here questioning why did we let Morgan Rogers go, because we simply won.
Let's see.
No one cares.
Let's see.
the the only reason Lavia left because we brought
Wait.
in
Who
we
was
brought in
it?
the human Yorkshire pudding, aka Fatty Phillips, aka Calvin Phillips.
Daniel, what are you saying?
Did Romeo Lavia really need to go?
Yeah, because we brought in Calvin Phillips.
Like,
Yeah,
was that
that's
really
what
a?
it is.
Okay, who was Calvin Phillips playing for? Who was the coach?
Leeds at the time.
Oh, Leeds, my bad.
Who was the coach that Pep worships at Leeds at that time?
Bielsa.
Bielsa, yeah.
You There you go. For people that said that Calvin Phillips was just a board center, that was a Bielsa Pep relationship.
Mm.
Same thing with
Yeah,
the
and
stuff that he was saying.
I firstly, Daniel, I don't doubt that. Listen, at the time when we bought Phillips, he was England Player of the Year. He played in a
Mm.
Bielsa system, so everything pointed to him being the right signing, but it just didn't turn out to be the right signing. It was horrendous for us.
Mm-hmm.
Like it can't change the fact that he was literally the best available backup DM signing in that window. And when we signed him, a lot of people were on board that wow, we've actually got Rodri, and now they've got Phillips as a backup, which is insane because it's unfair to the league. But obviously, it turned out to be a shit signing, and you just have to charge it, bro. That's the reality. That's the truth.
Just before we end up, I was gonna go through like the score. What do you think the score prediction for Crystal Palace, Man City tomorrow?
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I think we get a 1-0 late in the second half. Mamu scores. That's my prediction.
Ooh, predict
I do
2-1
think we keep a clean
City.
sheet, but yeah.
Mm,
Actually, I'll go for a 2-1 because I do think they will score, but we'll score 2. 2-1 is my prediction, final.
yeah.
Because I literally just remember they have Sa, Ezra, and Mateta as their front three, so yeah, we're definitely getting scored on.
I got 2-1 also.
I
And
got 2-1.
Hamza,
2-1
also
City.
I got 2-1 as well.
keep a watch on your boy.
Go and keep a clean sheet to save my
Hamza, are
life.
you watching your boy tomorrow?
Who?
Adam Wharton.
Yeah, I'm watching with them water.
If you can't do anything against the uncles, I'll question you.
Tomorrow we'll see. Tomorrow's a big game, man.
Veda,
Veda,
what's your
what's
prediction for the game?
Ooh. I hate giving predictions before I see the starting 11. I absolutely hate it because
I agree with you. I went for a 2-1 before seeing the lineup.
yeah. definitely no clean sheets. Definitely no clean sheets. I'm gonna say
Mind you, we've kept clean sheet in the past 2 games.
our past 2. Yeah, but this is Crystal.
Our bogey team.
I'm gonna say 3. 2-1,
I said
3-1. I'm not mad at 2-1, 3-1. That
the only
third
reason
goal
I
could be
said
a late.
and once again is based on a predicted lineup. I said it will be the same back four as United. Nunes, Diaz, Gavadio, Nico Riley. In the middle it'd be Nico Gonzalez and Gundogan. And then KDB, because Foden's most likely not playing tomorrow. Pep said that in a press conference.
Okay.
And then you have Marmoush, Savio, Doku.
Ooh. Yeah.
Doku.
Yeah. Don't be surprised if one of the two are dropped. I could see Doku or Savino, one of them being dropped, and Bernardo on the wing.
I think Savio
I
will
could
play
see that.
because he did not play the United game.
Yeah.
And I think Doku might come off the bench and it could be Bernardo that's playing. Just one of
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But mind you, also remember Palace without Margehi tomorrow.
Suspension?
Yeah, suspension because of the red card. They also are without the American defender, so it will most likely be Joel Ward starting in the back line, unless the American defender is back. I don't really remember his name. Oh wait, Chris Richards. Sorry, if Chris Richards is back, then he starts. Otherwise, it's going to be Joel Ward. And guys,
Yeah,
if Joel Ward starts, we have to target him. 35-year-old
absolutely.
right back, makeshift defender. Oh my goodness, we can't let him keep a clean sheet.
Yeah, that game's gonna be crazy. That game's
The only
7:30 in the
reason I
morning.
even said they'll score one, Veta, is because of their front line. Ismail Assar,
Yeah, I can see them scoring one.
Mateta, and Ezra.
Yep, yep. And I can see even the choice of saying Nunez and not Kostanov. It makes sense to me as well. Pep could do it. Pep Pep could do that, and then a late sub for Kostanov to see out the game.
Just
yeah, I don't know.
Final question from you guys. Yeah, I know somehow, apparently, it's crazy that we take a lot of players from Crystal Palace when we're trying to reach the Champions League or whatnot. Yeah. Let me just ask you guys this year. Based on this season, and obviously whatever happens with Oscar Bob and whatever the case is,
Yeah.
do you think we still have room for a right winger? And if yes, would you be open to looking at Ismail Assar as a right winger? Mind you, he's not just been in the Prem just now. He was in the Prem with Watford and killing it. Remember, he's literally the reason our record is intact, which I thank him for. He dunked on Liverpool.
Yeah, he did. Do we have room for a right wing?
100%.
I think we do.
I believe so. Yeah.
We don't. We only have what, three natural wing. Three natural
Doku,
wingers.
Because guys,
Lukaku,
really and truly, if you look at
Marmoush.
the squad we have right now,
Yeah.
Savio is the only out and out right winger per se, and the other two are makeshifts. Where Bernardo is the makeshift right winger, and then Foden is the makeshift right winger. Do you know what I mean? So going forward, obviously, listen, next season, I don't think he will go into the next season with the same right wing options. There's absolutely no chance.
Yeah, we're gonna need the right winger. We're gonna need the right winger. That's why I would.
That's the only reason I'm saying it. And mind you, also another reason I say that is because Marmoush is very good on the left. Savio is very good on the left. His best performances came for Girona on the left, and even for us, I'd argue it came the best. Some of the best performances were on the left. Doku's literally cannot play on the right. He's also predominantly good on the left.
Yeah.
So it goes back to the same point. I think we definitely do lack a right winger.
No, I can see that. I can see that.
Which
Listen,
what's the final story? I just
got to drop. No, I just got to drop because my little one's calling for me. But guys, I want to join the show. Hopefully, I can check y'all next week.
Bigger Veta, man.
Yeah,
Professor,
bigger,
thanks for the invite. Guys, bless. I'll see you in spaces.
Bless you, bro. Take care, man. Which guys brings me to one final point here, and hear me out on this here. Do you think you look at the right wing spot here, and going into next season, obviously because we need a lot of signings here. Hamza, do you think it could be like a kill two birds with one stone again, where they look at the right back position, they're like, we need a right winger. They look at the homegrown quota, and they look at the right wing area, and they're like, there's one player who fits all of these three metrics.
Let me guess,
currently plays
Frimpong.
at Bayer Leverkusen, and he's available for 40 million.
Yeah.
You have a right back, you have a winger, and he's homegrown.
Yeah.
He's going Liverpool.
No, he's not. He's not confirmed. Bro, it could be even likely that Trent renews in it, but it's not Liverpool talk. But
not only that, he can't
possibility.
defend.
They could.
Not only that, he can't defend.
Would you be happy with the? Listen,
I will.
Okay. One second, Nuri. Can you tell me modern fullbacks who can defend? Go on.
I don't know.
Come on,
just give me. I can't lie.
Listen, either you get a centre back to play that role, or if you're gonna get a natural fullback, then bro, most of them have a bozo gene. I'm sorry.
I'd rather have a centre back play that position. I genuinely would.
Yeah, but then you're killing your attack in it, and we literally want attacking football.
For you to be, I respect right backs that can actually defend. It's a bonus if you can attack. It's not your. That's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to defend.
I hear it, but then, bro, if we are to be that direct team with threats from everywhere, then I think going forward we just have to get a natural fullback. I'll be honest. We have to move away from this four. Listen, what's four centre backs done for us this season?
Nothing.
Except giving us injuries.
Because we've got injury prone centre backs. That's the problem.
Yeah, but bro, like, okay, you fair enough. You signed, but are you gonna sign more centre backs then to play the
Yeah,
wide
it's gonna have to
positions?
be. It's gonna have to be like this. It's gonna have to be.
Because listen, Gavardio's playing very
Uh,
well in the centre back role.
Kusanov should be playing right back, in my opinion. Kusanov should be playing right back.
Ah man, listen,
Should be.
Hamza, I'd prefer we
yeah,
sign natural fullbacks here. You have Cambiaso one side, Frimpong the other. You have natural wingers. You just kill teams, bro. Suffocate
yeah.
them.
You kill this.
I can't lie. I'd rather have Carl Walker Peters at right back than freaking Frimpong.
Bro, but let me ask you guys, where's this notion of Frimpong can't defend come from? Because he can.
I've
Most of the
seen him play
times
for
I've
the
seen
Netherlands. I've seen him play for the Netherlands for my nation team, man. He can't defend.
for Netherlands, Coman starts him as a winger. Remember that. That's a different thing because once again, Coman sometimes plays a back three and a back four where Dumfries always has the nod above in terms of seniority and experience over Frimpong, yeah? Which is why Frimpong, the only time he plays as a natural winger, right-sided winger.
Mm.
So again, once I ask you guys this year, when you watch Leverkusen, what gives you the impression that he doesn't really defend? Because he does put in a lot of defense. Do you know the only reason his numbers are not really high in terms of defensive numbers? Yeah, because Hamza they have the ball most of the times. But
Yeah,
you know why? When they went unbeaten last season, one of the
yeah.
things that they did so well successfully, yeah, is
Mm.
ball recovery. And from the right, who was the guy who did all of the recoveries? It was Frimpong, bro.
Simple.
Speaking of Leverkusen, what was the whole Leverkusen coaching staff
Can I
being
break
like
that down?
City? Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay, so basically, guys, what happened is, firstly, it's not new information. It's very
Mm-hmm.
old information that's just been put out to the media because,
Mm-hmm. Of
people are easy to fool. No one really follows up
course.
with Bundesliga like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Uli Hoeneß, who's the head honcho essentially at Bayern München, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they did an interview with him recently. And in the interview, obviously, they were asking about Bayern's transfer plans and whatnot. And he said basically, Bayern need to save money this summer because even though they have a big rebuild to do because a couple of players are leaving,
Yep.
they need to sign some of the key areas like centre backs and whatnot. They might need to take out a loan to get
Mm-hmm.
all of these signings done. Yeah. And then they asked him, okay, since you're saying the loan situation and the money situation, you're interested in signing Florian Wirtz. So walk on with that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
he said, listen, Wirtz is a player I really like. I would love for him to be at Bayern. It's something we dream of. But the reality is we do not have the finances for that.
Yeah.
This is the interview he did. Now, the second part is where, if you guys remember, 6 months ago, Leverkusen and all of the people from Leverkusen, even the Sky Germany people, they were
Mm-hmm.
saying that Leverkusen now expects Wirtz to sign a contract extension where he
Mm-hmm.
will leave at the end of 2026 season, yeah, right after the
Yep.
World Cup, yeah.
Yep.
But now what's happened is that situation has changed.
Yep.
Bayern and Florian Wirtz's parents have been in contact since before his first ACL injury. Yeah.
Yep.
And they've been more or less trying to tap him up, saying that, you know what, run down your contract so that we can sign you, or just try to come to us. We have a plan for you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing that's changed is Wirtz is actually considering to go abroad. And guess
Mm-hmm.
who's abroad? It's
Us.
us. It's literally us. There's no other club who can afford to pay what Leverkusen. Firstly, Leverkusen and us have a very good relationship. Yeah.
Yep.
So working off that relationship, firstly, who's gonna give them the most money for Florian Wirtz?
Us.
Man City. Who's gonna give Florian Wirtz the best package in terms of finances? Man
Us.
City. Who's gonna also give him guaranteed game time and the best projects? Man
Us.
City. That's not a
Mm-hmm.
debate because remember, he can go to Bayern, no problem. He has to compete with Musiala. Even if they start together, one of them is getting moved. Do you think Musiala will be happy to move to the wing because of Florian
No,
Wirtz?
no, no,
Or do you think Florian Wirtz will be happy to move deeper because of Musiala? No.
no.
Hamza, we're literally in the best position to sign Florian Wirtz. So if you look at the news today, there's not new information. Yeah. And even at the end of the article, it said, but regardless of Bayern's ability to get a loan from the bank and sign Florian Wirtz, if they wanted to, they still have to compete with Manchester City for his signature. We are the favorites right now. Listen, before, I'll be honest with you guys, yeah? When I saw the news, I did not believe it as much. After looking at everything that's happened in the past 6 months and the way the things have gone, bro, part of me actually believes that he will come to us, Part of me actually does. Because, firstly, we even let go of De Bruyne. That, for me, is a very big indication. Because otherwise, we would not be making a decision like that with like 3 months to go, roughly. Crucial part of the season, and we're telling our best player ever,
Fact.
bounce. Goodbye. Secondly, the news that's coming out from Germany, I think it
Yeah,
just makes a lot of sense. It just ties up, bro.
it does.
That's my reason for thinking. I think the news today especially confirmed it for me when Uli Hoeneß said we do not have the finances and we have key positions to address in the summer. And he said Wirtz is a player we like, we want to sign him, but we don't have the money for him.
Mm.
So Hamza, we're
Yeah,
in pole position. If we bottle it from here,
yeah.
the only way you bottle it from here is either we
Mm.
don't give him the contract he needs,
They
we
don't have.
don't make the Champions League.
Yeah,
These are the only two factors.
fact.
Madrid, Madrid,
What? Okay, let me ask you guys.
Madrid.
One sec.
Nah, Madrid is not in it.
No. Listen, one sec. Madrid, given the season they're having right now, yeah, if they get knocked out to Arsenal, you can say they will be ruthless and heads will roll and whatnot, yeah? What will be their first priority going into the summer?
Defense.
Wim, there you
Xabi
go.
Alonso. Xabi Alonso.
One sec. So you're talking about giving a new package. So, by the way, yeah,
Mm.
Carlo has a contract till next year. So
Yeah,
when you sack a manager, you have to pay him off. Then they
yeah.
have to get Xabi Alonso, pay him a new contract. You
Mm.
also have to fix the defense. Mind you, Carvajal,
Defense is
right back,
key.
still injured, yeah?
Mm.
So if
Two
it's
centre
Trent,
back.
then you're giving him big money.
Mm.
They also have to sign a number 8/number 6 because
Trent is
Camavinga
still
is
on
most likely
500,000 a week.
yes. And then how are you going to convince Florian Wirtz that you have to play as a number 8 because Bellingham will remain as the number 10 and the main guy?
Fact. No.
You
Mind
you
you,
show
mind you,
you
mind
show
you, you
him the
still
white
also
shirt
have
with the
to.
number 8 and 10 on there, and you tell him it's yours in a year.
Yeah, but once again, if you are Florian Wirtz, how are you getting convinced by that when you look at the project and there's no stability anywhere? The team's not built for you to come in and you're the missing piece. There's several missing pieces.
That's Madrid. That door
I know,
doesn't
listen, I
knock.
totally agree with you. That's Madrid. But as a project, as to what he's being offered, bro, I once again say we are in pole position. Not Madrid. Not even Madrid can offer what we can, bro. Let's be realistic. I get that he might prefer Madrid because, like, obviously Real Madrid. I don't think anything needs to be said with regards to that. But then, realistically, if you look at the project, you look at what's it gonna do for the project, and also, bro, face of the club. At
Mm.
Madrid, he's just another player.
Yeah, it's just another player.
At City, he has the opportunity. Even at Bayern, he's just another player, bro.
Yeah.
Because that's Musiala's team right now.
Yeah.
At City, KDB's gone. There's
Yeah.
an opportunity for a player to step up and be
Mm.
like, you know what, this is my team.
This is my team.
And
Save, I'm
mind
gonna
you,
end it up.
players do look at
I'm
that,
gonna
yeah.
end it up there for tomorrow, because tomorrow got a long stream for watch along, man, and then Twitter and all that stuff.
I'll be streaming, Hamza. I'll be tuned in, man. Hopefully
Yeah,
we win.
yeah. Big up everyone, man. Thank you, and we'll be back tomorrow and then back on Sunday again to talk
Yeah,
about this.